is it in a filing cabinet somewhere where they have to recall it, and then, or is it always in some sort of loop that they can scroll back to like a fucking a video on your phone?
How do you get your memories? How do you get your memories out?
They're randomly floating around.
Yeah. I get mine, and mine's Netflix mail. Like sometimes they come.
Like if someone says a memory
so
to
the same
me,
thing. They just have all of them floating around instead of the some of them.
You know who has
is it that much?
Yeah.
It does that. Brain, how does that work?
I don't know, Tom.
And I'm like, what? So the memory's there. Do they have, when someone says something, do they go to like a, I'm trying to figure out, is it in a filing cabinet somewhere where they have to recall it, and then, or is it always in some sort of loop that they can scroll back to like a fucking a video on your phone?
How do you get your memories? How do you get your memories out?
They're randomly floating around.
Yeah. I get mine, and mine's Netflix mail. Like sometimes they come.
Like if someone says a memory to me.
So the same thing. They just have all of them floating around instead of the some of them.
You know who has
is it that much?
Yeah.
It does that. Brain, how does that work?
I don't know, Tom.
If you're injured on the go,
just call Mo.com.
His name is Mo.
So how many viewers does this get? Like, Kenny, if, so let's say Tom and Dan want to advertise, they want to sponsor, like, put a tiny Tom and Dan sticker on. Like, is that even allowed?
But the sticker's only about a couple of centimeters.
And you're not going to be able to see it because it's going 100 miles an hour.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they get the nerd, we put
It would
them in a Tom
probably be
and
on
Dan shirt.
their jerseys because they have jerseys like that have.
Why do they have Why do they have?
What does that cost?
Yeah, why do they have jerseys? They're fat and they're not sweating.
Yeah, well, like the e-gamers, everybody adopted
E-gamers have
jerseys.
jerseys.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why are they wearing something like you should be wearing pajamas.
A onesie.
No, I'm being serious. The fact that you wear, like, I don't think any fat football lineman wants to wear skin-tight elf pants, but he does because that's the uniform, right? I don't think he wants to wear that. He wants to wear Carhartts or some, like, overalls or something, right? They wear just like Big Tim.
Yeah.
They don't want to wear elf pants. But they know going into football, they're like, gotta wear elf pants because I gotta be able to stretch.
You're right. They probably hate that.
It's like the hacky stand-up comics. Like, why do baseball managers dress up in full baseball outfits when they're Disgusto 250 pounds?
Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah.
A big old Lasorda.
Big Slim Fast.
But I like that because you're so fat. You're like, look,
it's more comfortable.
It looks like a Halloween costume because you're so fat.
Oh my God, you're so fat wearing that baseball outfit. You look like an old baseball player because they were fat. You look like Babe Ruth.
Right.
Can't they just give you the jacket to cover how big your belly is?
You know what? You could just dress like a suit. Just wear a Dodgers hat. You're fine. I know you're the guy.
You're like a coach, Belichick. You just sleeveless.
Belichick ain't got to suit up. He got to look like Brady. He got his.
So, how many viewers watch this?
So when we're there live, we've sold out every event that we're in. Now, again, it's not full stadium, but like when we were at Chase Field, we had about 10 to 20,000 people.
That's a big field.
Wow,
that's a big field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So about half the stadium was filled with people. Now,
But they won't come back, right? They came the first time to see it. It's like
that's
why
like
Shaq's podcast.
That's why we. You just killed Dan.
I did. He stabbed me good. That was a good one. Something's burning. It's my ass.
That's how it's red hot.
Eat me.
Put some barbecue sauce on me and smoke me good.
It's Porky's barbecue
In a pop cup.
Hey gang, what's up everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me turn off all the cartoons and turn on all the good stuff here. All right, and fix cameras. Good morning YouTube, good morning Twitch. I hope you guys are doing well. We have guests this morning. Luca the Lizard is fine. He's fine. He just has
Oh,
a
yeah.
new.
We have a studio lizard that wandered in here weeks ago. and
5
then-
weeks ago he's been here. We
Now
feed him
we're-
mealworms. He'll take them out of your hand.
Yeah,
Give him a worm,
yeah.
and he'll eat them.
It's
I don't know if we
weird,
should
but,
tell you guys that, because then I feel like you guys will be like, these guys are gross.
That's cool.
We,
guys are
we used to have
disgusting.
it just randomly
You know how you get
happened.
lizards? Plumbing leaks. Like, I feel like that, or something like that. Like, I feel like we're doing something wrong.
I've never seen a regular Florida lizard like all of a sudden domesticate itself, and now we get to hand feed it. And it just hangs around the
and
studio.
he hangs around, and you were
And we
worried
just
about
leave
it,
it
dude. He's
open.
fine. He's just hanging in her. He's hanging out of the email box like a dog would hang out of its kennel.
Yeah, it's right there in the box.
I introduced our guest to Luca's rad, man. He's a great. We've had him for. This is going to be week 5.
That's awesome.
And we feed him, and he's gotten a little chubbier. I'm like, man, this guy's thriving. He's doing great. All right, Tom, I think I got everything set up here. So, and I have the theme song and everything. So, yeah, we're good. You guys are good?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Mr. Van, 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Should we give everybody an update on Luca?
Yeah,
Because people were wondering, like Luca the Lizard is fine, but he has changed position. He's no longer sitting on the top of Samantha's camera.
Yeah, that's
which is-
weird behavior, though.
Is it? Do we know
yeah.
anything
Don't
about?
judge Lucas.
I don't think we know. You know nothing
The
about.
cameras
what
are hot. It's a reptile.
Those
It needs
emails
to-
are hot. Have you seen some of these
No.
fire
They're like little
emails?
blankets for him.
No, they need a heat source.
Well, I don't think
Yeah,
lizards
my
go to the.
laptop battery's heating him up.
Yeah, maybe
Is
so.
it battery down there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know
All
that.
right,
all
there you
right.
go.
If the
He
battery's
went,
down
he went
there,
to a bigger,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a
Okay.
bigger heat rock.
All right,
is
that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So Luca's fine. Emergency, crisis averted. Everything is good. But we do have some guests. Should we get to it now?
let's do some weird.
All right. What is that music going? Hold on. Oh my God. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dad really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Song's too long. It's just way too long.
Yeah, we
It's
need to consolidate.
excruciatingly long.
Yeah. From one of our sponsors,
Yeah, man.
Modern Plumbing Industries, we've got Charles and Anthony here, and we're gonna talk plumbing.
Yes.
Cool.
we
How you
are.
guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Hey,
today.
thanks for
Appreciate
being
it.
here, guys.
So I guess we'll start from the very basics. So
Toilets. What's up with those?
How do those work?
Okay, with first, let's kind of get the history of modern plumbing, because I know you've been servicing Central Florida for 30 years. So how did it start? How did modern plumbing start?
So back in 1975.
Just get a little bit close. Try to get about an
sorry
inch
about
off.
that.
of it.
All
Yeah,
right.
sorry
So
about
back
that.
in 1975, our dad came down here. I think he got down at 72 from New York, New Jersey. 75, he linked up with our mom, and they figured out they needed to make some money to provide for eventually a family.
Was
So,
he already a plumber?
Yes.
Okay, so he had already learned, and he is a New Jersey.
self-taught, like back in those
Was he
days.
a self-taught
yeah,
New Jersey plumber? That sounds like the toughest job.
Yeah. He was a real man, right? Real man.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. That he
We're
was.
concrete, lots of different things up north, up in the Union, or trying to get into the Union, and then he came down here and got into more formalized plumbing and worked for somebody else and crashed a bunch of different cars or vehicles. And
Yeah, that's what you
told
do.
told the guy next one I crash, I'm done, and literally left the guy the keys in the
like that.
truck and left the truck and started his own business.
He's like, I'm out. I'm a plumber now.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, when did the industry, like the business, start to grow? Because I imagine, I know some plumbers, they're like independent their entire career, right? Like they work for themselves. They get enough jobs to make a good living, but they don't, get other vans, and they prefer to be
Small job, lone wolf.
Yeah, lone wolf, and they just be like they don't want the hassle of like growing the business. But like it seems to me that if you can grow it and get multiple, vans and trucks.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a headache to me. Because it's one more thing to fix. It's like another tool to break down.
But then also you got to find good people to work with you, and that
sounds like the hardest part. Yeah.
So when your dad decided, like, I'm sure he got to the point where he's got so many customers, he needs help, and is that how it grows naturally?
Yeah. I mean, it was the early 70s. I mean, late 70s, early 80s. Started doing service and residential, and eventually started adding people. And back then, you got stuff done on a handshake. Your word was your bond. No contracts, no lawyers, no HR. And eventually, he got that momentum on the residential side. And I think back in like the early 80s, we were doing 500 homes a year.
Wow.
But then interest rates went through the roof, and the economy crashed. And eventually, through a bunch of hard times, we got into commercial construction.
Okay.
Nice. The chat room is giving you guys love right now for giving back to the community. They say you sponsor a lot of school programs and sports teams.
Yes.
Good
That's
true.
Thanks for doing that, y'all. I mean, obviously it's working if people are saying it.
Well, we're happy to.
Well done. That's awesome.
Thanks for the love.
You guys have been through 2 recessions now, because I forgot about the 80s recession. That was the first.
My dad didn't forget about it.
Yeah.
I heard a few things in the kitchen.
And then the business just grew, and there's more and more vans. Is that is it one van at a time?
Or do you buy a fleet? I've always wanted to go in and stroke a check for 9 vans, right? Or something like that. Is that cool, or does that make your butt hurt? Is it like,
I think it's cool.
I do think it's cool.
Yeah.
How do you grow safely, I guess, a plumbing business?
Well, that's what we're scared of all the time is like if we're going to do some marketing, right? It's the scariest thing in the world, and Tom and I will over talk it so much and circle talk our money going to this, whatever they're going to do for us, that we'll finally just go, you know what, we're not going to do it. Do you guys do, I mean, especially since you're related, is it difficult trying to decide how to conservatively grow it without tanking it?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that all you got is your reputation at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so you can't overextend yourself, right? So you've got to kind of grow.
We do that a lot. Okay, hold on, right?
I love overextension.
But it's working for you guys. It's working.
Tom's business plan is to overextend everything.
I don't know.
I think it's working.
You know, I always tell you to write stuff down. I could just go back and listen to our own show and then learn from our guests on how to do things correctly.
I learned to extend. Extends. Jimmy Johnson. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
So we try to grow organically.
That was inappropriate.
That's hilarious.
All right, sorry.
No, so we try to grow organically, because like I said, all you got your reputation, so you can't mess that up. By the time me and Charles took over the helm, and my dad retired, it was really all we had to do was just not mess up our reputation and our good name.
But that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know,
but you got to surround yourself with good people, and we've been fortunate enough to do that. I mean, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. It's not like we're out there,
I had Curtis. Curtis came to my house, I think.
Yeah.
He was rad.
Yeah,
he was awesome. That guy, man, I got big points for having Curtis. It's not like I controlled who you guys were going to send to my house, but I'm glad you sent Curtis because, man, my wife loved him. He was awesome. He hooked us
Appreciate
up great.
That.
Well, how do you, I imagine, is finding, quality plumbers hard? Is that trade still, of all the trades, do people go into
I think
plumbing?
it's one of the...
Do people are afraid of it? Or,
I think it's one of the professions we have the most amount of people listen to us. We have a lot of plumbers, dude.
I know. Yeah.
Zach from Ohio is a plumber. He's like a Hall of Fame caller. We have a lot of plumbers in our listening audience. Tons.
Awesome.
Yeah. Are people still going into the trade? Is that expanding more now than ever? Because I feel like in my generation. I was told in 2000 I graduated high school. Everything
Well,
was
it's always
like,
different. For my
go to
generation, it was too
college.
hard. Yeah, go to college, don't do the plumbing. You don't
Yeah,
want to do the trade. And then,
Yeah.
like, now it's do the trade.
Yeah.
College, don't do college.
Yeah, because I feel like the 80s generation, like my dad was a diesel mechanic, and he was constantly like, he's like, this is too hard. Like, he was like, don't get in this, like, my hand.
And look, you didn't get into it, and your hands are still messed up.
That's true. You were the furthest thing from a plumber, and you have a plumber's hands.
But he, and then I feel like a lot of tradesmen in the 80s who are pushing their kids like, hey, go, get a white collar
Man,
job.
that could be as much as just like, I don't want you to do what I did.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, that's probably all that is.
But there's so much benefit in doing that job, and I'd prefer it over any office job in the world. You know, like, well, not any. Most cubicle office jobs, I'll say. Cubicle office jobs.
I 100% agree. There is something extremely rewarding about being able to fix things.
So do you guys see a certain generation of more than others? Like, is like the 30 to 45-year-old plumber, is that least or like less popular?
It seems like there's a bit of a gap there.
Okay.
We have guys that are getting closer to retirement. We do have some in the middle, and we're starting to see a reemergence of like the younger people trying to get into it.
Okay.
I mean, the good thing with plumbing, what our dad always taught us, is if you can learn a trade, nobody could take it away from you. So you could go any place in the world, and at the end of the day, everybody needs plumbing. Right. So.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell the new plumbers. Teeny weeny beanie. They love it. They love those little, and I don't understand it. I'm not hating. It's not my style, but you can always tell teeny tiny little beanie. It's 100 degrees outside.
Now I'm going to yell about pipes.
All right.
Okay.
This is what we came for, the
Like,
pipe yelling.
So cast iron. Okay. Why didn't they foresee cast iron being such a problem when they started laying it under all the houses in the 50s?
Are you talking
and
about your
60s?
own house?
No, just all the Florida houses. There's cast iron, and they're like, why? Like,
And for
in
cooking, it's the
50s
best. For cooking, cast iron's the best.
I mean, it's not like it's the Stone Age. They had the atomic bomb. You know what I'm saying? They had science. They couldn't see that this iron is going to be a problem in 50 years from now. It's going to be root crazy.
Well, I thought they'd be dead.
But they used to have lead pipes, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
what's the number one, if you guys had to like blanket it and try to pick one thing that you think is the number one problem that people are doing wrong over, like, all across the board in their home, what's the number one thing you guys see?
There's no such thing as flushable wipes.
Yeah. The white.
Oh, man, and I'm that guy. I'm that
Or
guy.
what you put down the sink.
Oh,
right?
and they call me Little Daddy Wipes because, man, I love them. Oh, God.
If you were thinking about
Gotta
this,
be clean,
They
y'all.
are nice.
Gotta
They
be
are
clean. I
nice.
use them everything. Backside, feet, in between my toes, back of my neck.
I
Clean,
want
gotta be clean.
I want to imagine like sometime in the 80s or 90s, like all big plumbing got together at a huge conference, and they were like, "We need
Reveal the wipe.
we need to invent
will keep
something."
us in business
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Or they're like, "We need
You guys all
something-
have cloaks on. You're all in a dark room. Looks like the Batcave.
We need to release the wipes onto society, just like fentanyl."
Yeah, exactly. Wipes
And
is
then-
the plumber's fentanyl. And I'm your man. I'm always out looking for a wipe. I'm like, oh, God. Who's got them preparation A's, dog? I need them preparations.
And then wipes will
I want them all.
will get out into the community, and people will use them and become addicted to the wipes.
I'm addicted to it.
And then they'll. And
My
then
skin
no
is
matter-
softer because of it. Like, I'm a less tough man because everything on me is gently wiped like a baby.
And then even though it says on the package not flushable or whatever, like people aren't gonna throw
But it
them
says
in
it
the
in
trash
tiny.
can.
It says
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
tiny.
So they flush them down and keeping plumbers in business forever. Did you buy into that conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Okay.
We unstock it.
Yeah. So
So what am I supposed to
let's
do?
talk
Just
roots.
not buy those, right?
What?
Put them in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Oh, my
The
God.
garbage-
That's what my Spanish friends do with toilet paper. I can't do
Well,
that.
they're better in their plumbing.
Do you get a special can?
Or get a bidet.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just gonna have to get a bidet and then have them come and hook it up correctly because I'm not gonna do that.
Is there
Wreck my house.
You remember the speaking of conspiracy theories? Remember when someone invented the tire that could last 1,000,000 years?
Yeah,
or
the
whatever?
unpoppable tire.
The unpoppable tire,
Yeah.
and then it never got out there because
Yeah.
big tire was like
Because they burned the tire and killed the man that invented it.
Yeah. Is there an indestructible pipe that that would like that you were like, oh no, it's coming. Like this, but once they put this pipe in, it's
so
a 10,000-year-old pipe.
It'd be so expensive.
Or no matter what, there are things are constantly gonna happen.
Yeah, I think no matter what, you're always gonna deal with something one way or the other.
So let's go back to the cast iron pipes and roots because
Stuck on that, are you?
Back on the pipes.
Do you have those in your home?
Every day
He had a root problem at his house where they had to put the cameras down in there.
Okay.
And when they went down in there, they found a tapestry of nightmares. And I'm not going to talk about it.
Dreams tell a lot of
I'm
stories.
not going to
that's for
embarrass
sure.
you, but there's some footage that could never be revealed.
So I'm just every time I get home, I got these the giant oak trees in my front yard, and I know the pipe going from the sewer line, it goes straight through the middle of these oak trees, and I just look at it every day, and I'm like, oh my god,
It's like looking through jail cell bars.
I'm like, the roots are gonna get in there. There's no stopping them. They're everywhere. Like
It's nature's time bomb
they
coming for you.
They have come in through the top of the toilet, through the sides of the flange, and then gone through the like they came in through the sides. And then I'm like, they're inevitably gonna get in there, and when they do, oh my god, I'm gonna have to jackhammer my hole. I don't know what
Well,
to
you
do.
have
You
to do
call
that?
modern plumbing
Yeah.
is what you do.
So what would you guys do for something like that?
Can you remove the tree by any chance?
That's
No,
what I
my
said.
wife hugs the tree every morning. I'm not even joking.
You're scaring them. You're scared. Don't tell the hugging story. I said no hugging
She
story.
has told me, she's like, I'll never get rid of these trees. We will doo-doo in the yard
Oh my
before
God.
we cut these trees down. She's crazy. I'm telling you. These trees are her family. And she's hugged them before. I have a
She's
photo
saying
of
that
it.
to her real family.
I have a photo of her hugging them. Like she loves them so
Don't
much.
show that to people.
I know, I didn't.
Okay,
Anyway.
Tracy's very concerned in our chat room right
No,
now. She says
I'm
you should not be
no,
telling the hugging
no,
story to
I'm
this
just-
client.
So once the roots get in there, there's nothing we can do,
Is
right?
there stuff that you can do? Like, have you guys seen some nightmares with the roots in
Yeah,
Florida,
of
especially?
course, of course.
Everything grows here. It's basically like living in the Bahamas, you know?
You can use a cutter head and cut them out and all that stuff, but eventually they're going to come back, and you can only do that for so long. Eventually they're going to crack the pipe, and then you got to run a new line. So
What does that cost? Now that I do want to know. Like, if he had to run a new sewer line,
depends how long it is, but
how long would you? Let's
several
estimate.
thousand-
Let's
several
do the.
thousand
I want to
dollars.
scare him good.
Yeah.
Can we scare him good? I want to scare him good.
I've already thought about this. And I already know what the nightmare is going to be, because guess what? When Modern Plumbing comes out to run the new line, they're inevitably going to have to say, well, we have to cut the trench and cut these roots in the middle.
Yeah,
and then my
exactly.
wife's going to be out there and say, don't cut
She's
the
gonna
roots.
chain herself to the roots.
She's like, you have to go around.
It's gonna be a
around the-"
standoff.
And I'm like, we can't. And then you're going to be you're going to pull me aside. And you're going to be like, listen, if we go around these roots.
Can you go
like,
over the
it's-
roots, like
it's-
exterior pipe?
it's gonna
No,
be.
no.
Has anybody ever done that?
Well,
this is a game changing.
Not without a pump.
Downhill there.
Right.
Not without a pump.
We'd be
Run it
building
through the tree.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a doo-doo roller coaster through the tree, a doo-doo roller coaster that comes back down through the children's window, through the boys' room.
You're gonna
I
be
like
trying
that.
to. You're
Make it
gonna
like
be trying
Willy
to
Wonka.
level with me. You're gonna be like, you can't go around. It's gonna add so much cost to this world. Like you,
$45,000
Then my wife's
doo-doo pipe.
chaining herself. Anyway, so
I think we did a lot of bad here today.
So I had a question for you. I thought, like, is YouTube videos?
Oh, no.
Have that affected you guys, like, in your business
I
at
bet
all,
it's
or
helped you guys.
Because my buddy, I call him Turkey Leg. He's a Harley mechanic, and he said that because I said the same thing to him. I'm like, what about YouTube videos and people like fixing their
I
own
wouldn't make fun of
motorcycles?
you sounding Jamaican there.
And then he's like, that has helped my business because people will screw up their
Oh,
motorcycles
man. Bad.
way worse.
Real bad.
And then it'll be a bigger job for us. So he's like, I'm all about the YouTube videos because people don't know what they think they can
Yeah.
do it, and then they screw it up.
There's a
and
lot
then
of
they
bad
come to-
information out there,
Yeah.
man.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely helpful. You know, sometimes somebody tries to change a shower cartridge or something, the cartridge gets stuck. You know, they don't have the proper tool to do it. You know, then they wind up having to call us anyway. So it's just easier to call us to begin with. So.
Yeah. And then they,
Man,
they,
is
And
it?
there's some things you feel bad going out for regardless. Like, resetting a garbage disposal or unjamming it. It's like, you don't need us. Go figure out how to do that on YouTube. Very simple.
Yeah, right.
You just get an Allen wrench. I know what you do, and then you back and forth, back and forth.
exactly.
Yeah, and we don't mind walking
need to
somebody.
call us.
We don't mind walking somebody through
I will
that.
say I YouTubed the garbage disposal this a couple years ago. It needed a special wrench that I could buy to loosen or whatever.
Yeah.
I went and got the wrench. I put it in the thing. Broke it. So there, I just want to throw that out there.
All right, well, maybe that's not for you,
I just
but
want to throw it out there. Just want to throw it out there that, if you don't really know what you're doing, or if it's old, like mine, it came with the house, and there was just, the guy told me, he's like, it didn't matter what you were going to do, then you're going to have to replace it.
Right.
So speaking of doing things yourself, I have a plumbing project that I'm about to do.
Oh, is this where you ask? Is this where you ask for expert advice?
Okay.
You just tell me if you think this is within my scope of ability.
Okay.
Well, you did all. Let's give some background. I like to lay some groundwork. I like to give you his resume. He has done all of the wonky diagonal irrigation in his yard. It basically looks like Eddie Van Halen's guitar, the way the lines are all run all over the place. He's a creative. He calls himself a creative piper. Isn't that what you call yourself?
Well, let's go through all the services real quick, and then I'll tell you what I'm about to do.
I don't even know what this is. Do you know, Sam?
Nope.
I'm curious.
Just to let people
Are you doing?
know.
Are you doing a koi pond?
No. The raccoons will eat the koi. I already wanted
Tell
to
him
do a
about
koi.
the raccoons. You told him about the tree hugging.
They told me they're like, you have to put this chicken wire over the thing so the raccoons
Now
don't.
that'll
I'm
look
like,
great. Chicken wire koi pond.
Oh my God. Well, then it kills it.
There's nothing more hillbilly than a chicken wire koi pond, right?
I agree.
So let's go over some of the services Modern Plumbing offers, just so people know out there.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. So like obviously residential and commercial plumbing. You guys do irrigation too? No irrigation. So it's residential and commercial plumbing.
Yeah, we have the side that builds buildings and stuff, and then the side that we're trying to raise awareness on is the service and repair division.
Okay.
We do different things with water treatment, water quality, drain and sewer. We got the cameras to put down the pipes. We can make the videos.
Water heaters, which is what I needed a few months ago before we had you guys.
There you
Go
go.
up.
And all the basic plumbing stuff, remodels, even the occasional custom home now. So.
There you go. Good to know.
So
Okay, now to the project.
okay,
Is that
my wife wants a outdoor shower because she says
sexy?
No,
All
not
right.
because no,
Yeah,
it's
I
more
like
for the
this.
kids because the kids. They go from the pool, then they run with wet feet into the house to the shower, and she's like,
They're
"Let's
gonna
just-"
run after the shower. They're gonna run with wet feet back to
Right.
the house.
No. Like,
Oh, you're gonna dry them outside.
Yeah. We're just gonna do
Why
the
don't
whole
they just
process.
use towels now? You're gonna install a shower instead of just drying their feet off? I don't understand.
I do like a pool shower though. I'm on board with this.
Because then
I'm
they
on
go
board with
all the way to the shower. It's a whole thing where they just bathe them all outside,
Yeah.
and then dress them outside, and then put them inside.
and then carry them to their beds and lay them in like little kings.
So at first I was gonna do the hose because I was like, it's right there.
So you're just gonna take it up.
But my family's too weak for the hose. You see, like they're like, we want warm water. We don't just want cold hose water.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my God. So then I'm like, all right, well, all my hot and cold water run through the roof, right? It's already been replumbed.
Right.
So I'm like, all I have to
What do you do if you got to replumb it again?
No, you go through the roof. Once it's in the roof, it's always
stays
in the roof.
roof.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds dirty.
Although I want to get so rich one day. I'm like, I want this original back in the floor.
Okay.
Has anybody ever decided like I just
Rip
want
it out of the roof.
rip up my floor back to the original. Anyway, my roof. And then I find I see them up there. They're everywhere in the roof, like
Right.
Hot water, cold
Okay,
water.
what part of your house does not have pipes crisscrossing it?
And then I get in there, and then it's like the little plastic line. I think it's what is that? Plex?
Pex.
All right, close. Pecs are close.
That was good.
You're
That
on
was good.
board. Show me pecs.
Yeah.
And then so I get up in there, and then I'll get some more of that, and then I'm sure they sell fittings or whatever. I fit them together, then I run them into the soffit. I think the roof goes into the soffit, like
Okay.
whatever. Get some 90s, a couple 90s and whatever. Run it through the soffit down to my pool, and then
And
down
then out.
and then out, and
Okay.
then I'll get some sort of knobbies or whatever, hot and cold, or shower, whatever. What do you think about?
Is that the technical term, guys? Knobbies? Like, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Knobbies or whatever.
Yeah, I've never heard knobbies.
How likely is it that I could do this myself? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you think?
I'm gonna give you a 5.
Okay,
probably. I mean, you described it
nice.
fairly
Wow.
well. So.
That was way higher.
Yeah.
My God. Holy crap.
Yeah, faith in me.
He said a 5, and I'm like, man, this is the nicest man we've ever
Well,
had
that
on our
hurt
co- What
me
a nice
describe-
man to hear
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of this.
Remember
and
to
say fi-
shut the water off before you cut it
Oh,
off.
didn't
Write
think about
that
that.
down.
Yeah, jot that down
Did
for
not
sure.
think about that.
Wow, that's like putting your name on the SAT.
All right, it's a 3 then. It's now a 3.
Oh, man.
Been
I've
knocked down.
I've never had a judge steal 2 points
They
like
use
that.
a pair of pliers and squeeze like a hose. And
Have one of your boys hold it.
You know, I never shut the water off on my garden hose. I always just kink it, the one side hold, and then unscrew the you could kink it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry guys. So, how many areas do you service here in Central Florida? We'll end with that.
Yeah. Like if we got guys in your area, like where do you want the calls coming from?
Volusia, Seminole, Orange, Osceola, Lake, and those are the main areas.
That's
Okay,
a
all
lot.
around
That's a
there.
lot. And you hit Volusia, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of people out there in Volusia.
And how many vans does Modern Plumbing have now?
We've got I think 25 vans on the road, and that's just on the service side. The construction side, they drive trucks and things like that.
Nice.
So,
Gotcha.
We used to have a Ford Ranger, 2002, with our
Nice.
name. We had a wrap on it. It's pretty awesome.
Well,
No, it was not. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Anthony, Charles, thanks so much
Yeah,
for
we
coming
appreciate
in.
you guys
you
coming
guys
in and
having
letting
us.
us be
Thank you.
crazy for you.
And we appreciate you sponsoring our show.
More than
Again,
anything, yes, it means a lot.
modernpi.com. Use promo code Tom and Dan. Just let them know you came from Tom and Dan. 10% off.
Yeah, maybe you'll get Curtis. He's awesome, and
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
get you tidied up if you got some shower problems. You know, the only problem is that now the shower that Curtis fixed is better and smoother than everything else in the house, and it feels new.
Yeah.
So now when I turn it on and it's awesome, all the other ones I'm like, well, they're all crap now. They all feel gritty and weird and old. Because he had to order some parts for me. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm joking, by the way. I'm going to call you guys for the hot water.
don't
There's no way
The
out.
look of fear on their face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is such a bad
Well,
idea.
you know what's funny is that I when my mother-in-law was redoing her house, she had a plumbing leak and the entire roof collapsed because it was spraying. And then we found out, like, the plumber that came over, she's like, "Oh, this was repiped by a handyman, and they used cheap, I guess." Yeah. They use whatever the cheap version of it just as a fix, and then over time, like 5 years later,
terrifying.
it's spraying a tiny pinhole leak, and then
That's it.
and then all mold up there, and there's like so much damage could be caused by something so like you're trying to save $50, and then now you have a $10,000 worth of mold and
Yeah, don't
damage
do
in your
that.
roof. Like that's what it
And
happens.
don't do that. Christine in the chat room, she's got a robo toilet she wants him to hook up.
Okay.
Oh, well, the robo toilet.
I don't know. What's she got? She got one of those Japanese robo toilets?
I've not seen her toilet.
Oh my
I do
God,
not
I
know.
want a Japanese robo
Does
toilet.
it need electricity to
I think
it?
so.
You have to plug it in?
Just run an extension cord in there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I don't know. It might be too fancy for me. Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We really
Thank you
appreciate
guys.
it.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, y'all. We'll take a quick break and come back with more corporate time. Awesome. That was really
Fucking
funny.
hilarious, guys.
We're still on YouTube and Twitch, but you know, you're good to go. Thank you guys. That was silly. Thank you guys. Thanks for letting us be crazy. in front of you. Sometimes you look at people and you're like, oh no, man, I hope I'm not weirding them out.
Yeah, no, all good, man. All good, bro.
Because, so now you got to see how I told you there'd be no dead air. We'll just talk.
Very nice to meet you. Is Samantha or Sam?
Yes, either one's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if we can do anything to help, let us know. I know.
Yeah, appreciate it, y'all.
Matt's a big fan of you guys. And
Oh, right
so
on.
we need to start getting more involved, and we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, very cool, man. Well, we appreciate it. That was
Anything
super
we can
fun.
do to help, man, for sure.
Yeah, well, and let us know some of those teams because apparently some of our listeners, I think, have kids in some of the things you do. I'd love to know.
We did like a World Plumbing Day contest in all the Seminole County public schools. So we
That's
give
dope.
away like posters. We give away like iPads and checks to the school and the kids.
That's
And we
pretty
do this
awesome.
whole poster contest.
Let us know if we can help with that too, because if there's a charity aspect, we're always doing that kind of stuff,
Cool,
especially with kiddo stuff. Because
Yeah,
we got kiddos.
kids, military, and,
Yep.
and the elderly.
Yes, sir. Let us know. We can help you out. All right, man. Have a good rest of your day. That was super fun. Tracy knows everybody. I want a Japanese toilet, but I want the one that they have one that has armrests.
You're not supposed to be in there that long.
Well, no, it's for like it's got all the buttons on it. Like you can turn on music, you can turn on heat. Where's this go, Sam?
Wednesday 1.
And we don't have anything else.
We should have 3 and 4. With
Okay,
Jack
yeah, I see it.
Douglas.
One, so we need to do 14.
Yes. Did you catch the time of what I need to cut out there? I think it was like halfway through, so.
I did not. I'm sorry, but I wonder if I can roll back through the video and see it.
Possibly like Tom glanced at it.
Okay.
And ever since then, we've really been focused on growing it. But we figured out last year is that we really is. We got a great reputation, but we're not a household name.
I just got fucked on that scooter part I ordered. I paid to same day it, thinking it was coming from London because most of the other parts I got came from London. The guy sourced it. He pulled it from Georgia. So I paid $80. I could have paid $20 and had it here the same day.
And we got really good community of listeners and stuff, and then once you guys integrate into it with them,
Yeah, they have lights. Some of them have lights. Some of them have a dryer.
you have a really good relationship with the listeners and
No, Doug, it's not exactly what I wanted to do, buddy.
in the community, and then it's like really,
And then Andrea's like, hey, that scooter parts store is right outside of Atlanta. We could go see it. She wants to go to Atlanta. Christine, there's a female cleaning option. What is it? Just spray a little more forward? That's crazy.
thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Thank you. Anything we can do to help, let
I
us know.
extend this out to clients, but we got a lot of
Details. Keep that.
anything ever comes up, you ever
That's pretty cool, Christine.
email, we can probably make it happen. So we got a relationship with Dr. Phillips, Hard Rock.
Ah, Tracy. Interesting. Okay.
Go to and
Makes sense.
we may be able to get you in somewhere. I just offered to clients. So I appreciate it. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks.
See y'all. That was super fun. The whole chat room's talking about fancy toilets. I think Seth has a black one. Or he did.
I thought he had a gold one.
Maybe it's a gold one. I've seen a black one that is really cool looking.
I see the bidet function of them. I can't imagine like it works well enough to justify the cleaning it and the stuff that would
Cleaning
The
The-
maintenance
the-
that you
the
don't like to
maintenance-
do.
cleaning the
Yeah,
lawn.
yeah, yeah.
Mr. No Maintenance.
yeah.
No, that he actually, you know what?
Because
That's
how-
probably he's right for that for himself. You know, like I see what he's saying.
Right.
I mean, it's
but
for,
he-
it's
that's
for
what
an
I'm saying, he doesn't
Andrea.
wanna do any
It's not for a
maintenance.
Tom, right?
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah, his new word, by the way, is trying. You're right. You're trying to be better at maintenance.
well
Let me lacquer your tools, dude,
for
because
what,
then I'll get to borrow them.
if you could borrow my tools.
Yeah, but they stink, and I don't want to have ass
yeah.
tools.
I'm just saying that when you get doo-doo on the sprayer and then you're cleaning it off, you're like, how good is the sprayer? Is it because a bidet is designed to like right underneath your butt? This is like kind of off to the side. Is it like spraying the doo-doo off, or is it just moistening, like getting the doo-doo wet so you go wipe
We
it?
should talk about this on Friday. I don't. You still wipe it, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You
So
can't
then-
spray it
yeah,
off.
Yeah, it
So you're
can.
just making it wet.
How come they haven't made a wipe that is like
Biodegradable.
a wipe when I'm using it, and a wipe, and then as soon as it hits water after 35 seconds or whatever, is like, pff, and it like
Because I think
explodes.
the wipe comes wet, so then therefore I don't think it can break down because it's stored
Let
wet.
me wet it. I'll dunk it in the.
Oh, God.
Okay, what are we doing here?
Do
14.
we want to do the 14?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do
You
And
want to
then
just
we'll
do?
jump back with
Let's do emails.
Kenny and what's his face for Tuesday?
Jason.
Yes.
Was it Kenny and Jason? I have a poo poo light that turns on when I sit on the toilet, and it's been low battery for like a year. So every time I sit on the toilet, it flashes red like a cop car in the toilet. And I'm too lazy to change it. And it's got little pee-pee marks, little poo-poo splatters all over it. And I just let the cleaning person clean it. All right. You got some emails, Sam?
Yeah, I gotta be careful here.
Yeah. Little baby's in there. He was peeking out. I have a video of him peeking out of there like a dog. He peeks out of there like it's his kennel. Oh, he's on your...
Jesus.
No, good. You got him out of there.
There's shit all over my...
Yeah, you shit all over your emails. That's what he thinks. What if he hates the listeners?
No, this is his litter box now.
What if he hates the listeners? What if
Oh,
he's
he
telling
hates
us
them.
Yeah, he hates them good. What if they love him? They're like, Luke,
His tail's almost completely healed.
Yeah, he's great. He's thriving, dude. Give him a mealworm. His tail's almost good.
Oh, I gotta wait. We fed him too much yesterday.
You
You
scared
gotta
yourself.
vacuum up all these little turds on the ground.
You scared yourself, didn't you?
What?
You scared yourself yesterday. You thought you did something to him. You didn't do anything to him. You always blame yourself. Don't blame yourself on that. You didn't do anything to him. Where is he? Oh, he's standing right
I'll
by...
read the one with shit on it first so I
He's
can get rid of
just
it.
standing... Well, if it's got shit on it, then he doesn't like this email. So let's start using him. He's third mic, right? Fourth mic. He's fourth mic. He's Sam's assistant PD or producer. All right, I'll bring us back.
Okay.
Oh, Christine wants to know if your boys think the lizard is cool.
Yeah.
So does Maisie. Maisie cried like when she fed it. She thought it was like the neatest thing. It's like an emotional. She did this. You know, like when kids do that, like. Ee! Okay, here we go. 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. One of the things we neglect most here at T&D Media, other than Sam, is the emails. So we love you, Sam, and we love your emails. First email.
Hello, show. I was just listening to the Friday Free Show from yesterday, and you all had mentioned that BDMs were not renewing their memberships and that you didn't have any sort of customer service management system in place. Which,
Did we say it? Did we say that?
which I
Who would
suspect
say
was just
that?
a joke to keep the mediocre brand healthy, because if that's true, then that's just sad, guys. Come on. I know Dan wouldn't let that happen since you are so tech savvy and would not let the BDM memberships not be recorded.
What?
Anyway, I would like to volunteer my time to call BDMs and get them to re-up their membership. Kind of like how the One Blood or any other charity calls people that were paying monthly, and then for whatever reason the payment stops working. System that works, or I could plug it in and start dialing numbers. I'll volunteer to sign people back up. Just let me know.
So we're gonna get this guy to come here to T&D Media to sit in the lobby and use
Call
our
center.
and use our landline. We have two.
Hello?
We have two landlines, and we can have him use. He can run both of them. I'll even get him the old phones, the old thick boys, so
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
answer it, and we can have him ringing in the background. Forever telethon. We're always on a telethon.
Here's the thing. No one picks up phone calls anymore, so that won't work.
Yeah, I won't.
Yeah. That's the problem.
And you can't text people because all texts are scams.
Yeah,
Everything I
yeah.
get on text is now I thought text was going to be the thing I took to my grave as communication device. No, dead.
Also,
Text is dead. Every day I get a new lady asking me I'll show you my bobs. Here's my vagine.
I don't get any of those.
I get all scams.
I get sugar daddy stuff in my Instagram, but that's it. But also, like, some of those people have not been a BDM for a while, so we don't even know if those numbers are accurate at this point.
That could be kind of fun though. What if I called under?
Just send fartograms.
What if I called doing wacky voices and tried to get him back on?
Well, there's a couple things. Maybe we exaggerated how willy-nilly it is. We don't have any... Daniel is our customer service.
I just answer emails, guys. That's it.
When you have a problem with your BDM, you put in a trouble ticket, Daniel's the one that answers that.
Yeah.
And then...
I'll always handle it with kid gloves. I'll always be cool to you. I'll always try to get you back, going.
And when you sign up for BDM monthly, it just auto re-ups. We go through a third party.
Yeah.
They're the ones that
They control
secure everybody's credit card.
We have no hand in that.
And then they are the ones that do that. They obviously take a little fee for every transaction, and then
A little fee.
And then once you're a monthly BDM, it just keeps going. A yearly BDM, it will resubscribe after a year, auto, unless you tell it not to.
Sure.
So it does have some, automatic systems. set
Yeah,
up,
it
but-
doesn't we don't have to go in there and remind you every month or year.
And then if it's if your payment doesn't go through, it'll send you 3 different emails telling you like, hey, we're gonna boot you out of the system. You have to re-up your credit card. And then after those 3 different emails, then that's it. and and to this day, or at least till now, we haven't sent anybody anything after those 3 emails, right? Like
no,
but we're working on sending everybody a reminder. I realize there are a percentage of BDMs that through one reason or another have like changed credit cards or whatever, like, and then they probably still think they're paying BDM because
do you think a lot
analyzes
of them,
their monthly credit card statements that closely?
You know what my wife does.
I do.
Yes, I
Really?
a lot of ladies do. You know what?
My
I
husband
never
does.
looked at
You know
it.
what I always think? I don't, because I've never seen a
Look at
bank
it weekly.
I've never even seen one bank statement.
I don't even
I've
look at our
ever-
business.
Yeah, I don't.
you
Me
know.
neither. I look over your shoulder sometimes.
I've never analyzed it.
I look at the big number. I'm like, that's looking pretty good. That's pretty
But
good.
all I mean, who goes through? I see things that are monthly charges. I don't even know what the hell
do
they
you
are.
know who you're talking to? Look at me.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I don't look at nothing.
I see something. I'm like, that must be Daniel, Tony,
I couldn't tell.
Eric. I don't
Guys,
Sam. I don't know what it
couldn't
is.
tell you what I get paid to do this. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what anything costs.
I guess you guys are doing a little better than I am because
No,
I make sure what
my
I'm
wife-
spending so I don't
My
overdraft.
wife does all
No.
of that, and then she gives me a little bit of money, and then I don't really buy anything. I buy I go to Publix every day, so she gives me enough so I can eat a salad or a sandwich or something.
I get constantly yelled at. They were on a spending freeze, and then I'm like, "What does that
Well,
mean?"
no, you're on a spending freeze. She's not on a spending
No,
freeze. That's not how it works.
No, she just says it like out loud. It's like spending freeze. I'm like, okay, well, what?
Well,
Is that a
what's
game?
a freeze?
Spending free.
If
What
you
do
say
you
it
want
enough-
me to do? Are we
if you
eating
s-
gruel? We're not eating gruel.
What is this? The spending freeze is for big ticket items.
I don't know what the hell it means.
What were you
because
trying to buy?
It all moves, and then all of a sudden we get a hot dog, and then I'm like, all right.
Hey, we got a hot dog float.
Yeah. Anyway,
$159.
Now here's the problem. If we get this guy in, he'll work hard for 2.5 days, and then he'll realize.
That
be
is,
like, he's like, what am I getting out of this?
Well, no, I don't think it's that. I think he'll
I'll tell him-
realize that. Is there a possibility that these multitudes of people that we've been doing this for so long? I'm serious. This is a serious question. I'm not joking.
Okay.
Is there a possibility that 85 to 90% of these people that we're going to have people call are just people who switch their email address and are still with us? Because
Could be.
I know that I was doing this math the other night. I was sitting there thinking
Not
about
80
it.
or 90, but a percentage.
But I think it's going to be very high because think about this. Like most people have one really good email address that they ride with for a very long time. Mine came in a little bit later. I have the one that I use with my .me account, right? So I have one with Apple that I use for my personal stuff. But the other one was my Daniel@WTKS.com account, and that was everything, right? So if I were subscribed to this show, I would have only used my Daniel@WTKS.com address. Then I would have probably obviously I resigned, so I didn't have that anymore. I would have signed up with the other one, and then I'd still be there, right? So that's 2.
That could be it. Yeah.
So I think we're going to find.
Wouldn't you know that though by comparing how many BDMs there are and what love meter they're signed up for?
No, if you
Well,
compare the people that
all we know
aren't
is
here,
the emails
Yeah.
and names. Like, so you can go through names, but if they don't put the exact name, then that could be different. Like, the only way we have to compare is like people's emails, really, emails and names. So it's like you put them in the Excel spreadsheet, and then you cross-reference, and then you're like, okay, this many people are no longer active,
Right.
But they were once active. A certain percentage are probably still active in a different email,
Right. That's
and
what I
how
think
it's
we're
harder
going to find a decent amount of that.
But then a certain percentage, just with anything,
Fell
like,
out of it, yeah.
You listen to there's plenty of podcasts I used to listen to daily, and then all of a sudden you get distracted by one,
Yeah.
and you get distracted by another one, and then next thing you know, you're 5 removed from the original, and because all your phone does is recommend stuff to you, right? And
Yeah.
so it's like you have. Like my phone gives me dozens of podcasts that are like the ones I'm listening to underneath, and sometimes I'll click on one, and then if the person if the person's voice is good enough or they're saying like things I'm interested in,
Yeah.
then I'll listen to it a couple times, and then I'll pick and choose like, oh, this guest or this person. There's just so much. It's
I do
insane.
life waves of it where I go in hot. I'll go 2 months of only podcasts, and then I'm
Yeah.
out, and then I'm music the rest of the year.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm 2
yeah.
months in, podcast, listen to everybody. I'm listening to all my friends' podcasts, and I'm out.
It's a wave. Yeah.
It is
Like,
weird.
No one's consuming like they used to with so many different options. How could you? You know, it's like I've made the analogy before. If you got your local barbecue restaurant that you go to all the time.
Porky's and a Popka.
Yeah, Porky's. And then all of a sudden now there's 15 barbecue restaurants in your neighborhood. Inevitably, you're going to start trying out different ones just to see, right? Yeah. And that one original
I like the sausage.
is going to get less business, right? It's inevitable.
Yeah. I think it is.
When people aren't concerned about that or like say like, I never think about that. I'm like, oh, how could you not? This seems like why audience numbers are smaller across the board with everything. Because there's so much.
There's also more entertainers
supply
now.
and demand.
I think about this sometimes at night. I'm like, never in the history of me being in entertainment, and I know that's such a weird thing to even say. Like, I've never thought of that, but it's true, right? Like, my entire job is entertainment. And never in the time of doing this for 26 years have there been more people doing what I do.
Yeah.
Ever. And that's crazy. So just based on that fact alone, if there are more people with microphones, then yes, my job is going to be harder to retain massive amounts of people. So that's not our job anymore. Our job is just to do the best version of this that we can do and hold on.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
And then the people that we do have that care about the show are good enough.
Galvanize them.
Help us enough to have awesome sponsors like Modern Plumbing and stuff. And then they're happy with it. You know what I mean? Plus, we're able to charge a reasonable rate that's fair for everybody, right?
Yep.
And I think our business can continue to survive.
Good talk. We
with
figured it out.
Yeah, because
awesome.
I look at it all the time. Like, one of the BDMs, speaking of this, they sent me an email and they explained why they.
You brought this up.
Yeah. And so his thing.
What did I do?
It wasn't anything particularly. It was like, it seemed like you guys were super hungry at the beginning and then you guys were out on your own and it was exciting and you guys were like, super excited about the content and hungry to get more listeners. And then once you got successful, you got complacent and the content went down and became less interesting. But he's like, but now I feel like you guys are hungry again, and now I'm back and listening again. And I'm like, well, you figured it out. No, I'm joking. But that's it. But that's everybody's perception of what happened. Like,
it really is.
And what I would say is we've tried the entire time. We've busted our ass the entire time. Now, certain things we focused on. We focused on different things at different times, and life changes, and our kids are born, and things get distracting, and then we focus on building the advertising part or the subscription part or whatever the hell, we're all trying to wear 10 different hats and do. So I'm sure that happened. Yeah, maybe the content at some point did, in your opinion, but that's the thing. It's all subjective too.
It's so subjective. I would say this even subjectively, just based on the way life ebbs and flows.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is fair. I would say that he's right. Because it doesn't even matter if we were different. It doesn't matter if he was different. Something was different, and it changed his listening habits. And that's fine. Glad you're back. That's what I would say.
I used to listen to Corolla all the time.
Are you drinking an old-school Arizona ice green tea?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since high school. Where did you get that, and why isn't it the tall can?
I told myself that the Diet Coke, I'm done.
You're done?
Well, not done, but I'm done with drinking so many. I'm making a change.
I didn't mean to throw that out
Gonna
there.
make a change.
I have not seen the Tiffany teal with the cherry blossoms green tea. There's a meme about
I don't even
this.
like it.
There's a meme.
No, I'm serious.
Have you seen the
every
Arizona...
sip is disgusting.
Have you seen the?
Oh my God.
Is it really?
I mean, whatever. I don't even care. I just need something to sip. So it seems less
water.
less poison.
Why don't you have water?
There's no flavor in that.
But you said that's disgusting. You'd rather have
He'd
disgusting
rather
than
have
no flavor?
disgusting
But
flavor
it's
than
got a
no
little
flavor.
honey in it, and I think that's good for my throat.
That does not have real honey in it. There's no way in hell.
whatever fake honey. It says honey on it. Listen. There's no rhyme. I didn't even decide to. I was walking and I just saw it. I was like, I'll drink this now.
I walked in this morning and Tom was crisscross applesauce in front of the refrigerator,
child.
stocking it up with tea.
With
and I was
all
like,
kinds of tea.
I was like,
all
I don't know
kinds
what's happening
Are
today.
you a Japanese tea lady now? What is
No,
happening
because
with you?
I
He
was
came
like,
in wearing a kimono.
I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff. Why am I buying
but you
one
only
thing at a
got
time?
Japanese tea.
No, I gotta.
You got, look, the bottom is iced tea. Here's green tea.
No, I got some bubblies and some other stuff too. do, I was just like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the studio.
Keep it stocked.
What
Thank
the
you,
hell
man.
are we
I
doing?
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Instead of buying one 12-pack every day.
yeah, I know. I am trying to 1% better.
There you go. That's all you can do.
Oh, we got time for? Do we?
No, we got 1 minute.
We don't have time.
Okay,
We
okay.
absolutely don't.
Give us your beverage of choice. Send us your emails.
Let me see this aerosol. Can I see it?
Yeah.
Can I have one of these?
Yeah, I mean, I bought them
Look,
for the
it's
studio.
oh,
for
there's
everybody.
a meme. Have you seen the meme of this where it's of a bigger woman wearing a dress that looks exactly like that, and they put the can there?
Yeah, it's in the BDM page because now it's a meme page. You
it-
got to crack down on that, Tom.
Why is it a meme page now? What's happening?
It's memes every day.
oh, meme.
Are
I
they
thought you said
1095s?
meme.
I need someone in there.
You said you were gonna do it.
Shack
Well,
attack,
I'm
shack
too
attack
lazy.
Yeah,
it.
you keep saying you're gonna shack attack a ball, and you're not doing nothing.
Well, I have to log on to the thing and search their email. Oh my god.
Then
Take this
why
guy
did
up
you
on his
say it?
offer.
Then why did you say it?
Well, I said it.
Are the
No,
memes really that great?
It was just like
Then Phil gets in there, he puts something in there, and everybody gets mad. Then he's yelling at everybody. Remember when we could joke? Everybody's screaming at each other.
it's like fake surveillance cameras. If people think you're watching them, then they
Oh,
do
okay. So
less.
you're doing the old fake
Yeah.
surveillance.
They know because they just keep posting memes.
I know. Well, they
Yeah.
figured it out, Sam. So one
They're
of
like,
us-
wait
There's
a
a lot of
minute.
people figuring things out lately.
Wait a minute. That's not a camera. I'm gonna put as many memes in here as I want to.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put someone in charge of
All
checking
right.
to see
Who's gonna be the meme general?
Well, I'll have to figure that out. I don't know.
Mike B.
Meme
Meme
police.
general.
No, you
Mike B. Meme general.
You can't give someone too much power. It goes straight to their
Well, no,
head.
he's just in charge of memes. That's it.
Yeah, but you give him that job, and then he's in there, and then all of a sudden he's mixing it up with people, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
everybody's mad.
He's
and then,
cheating on his wife.
yeah, the power goes.
Yeah, the power goes to his head. Next thing you know, he's
Yeah.
having people meet him, and he's giving sexual favors for memes on the page, right?
Yeah,
He's
then,
like, yeah, I'll let you put that meme up if you.
then he comes here. He's like, "Can you close the door for a minute?" Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
He's like, I've done something horrible.
I hate. Can you close the door for a minute?
Sam, you're never gonna close the door on
Oh,
us,
I'm
are
closing it.
you?
Currently.
No. We'll close
Currently
it.
closing.
We'll close it with you on one side and us on the other. Don't pull us into the room and do the closed door meeting.
Here-
I'll yell at you through the door.
Here's what I like about Sam. If she gets fed up one day, never see her again.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not gonna
That's
do.
true.
She's not gonna do awkward. Close the door.
That's true. I'll
and
walk
then
in there.
tell
I'll be
us
like,
into some
I'll-
weird
I'll be
thing.
like, where's Luca? That's weird. Everything gone.
I packed up Luca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
He's
yeah.
back in there, by the way.
Yeah, he's back. Dude, he jumped right back in the email box.
And I respect that. All right.
Thank you.
We will be right back.
All right.
Got about 15 minutes before Kenny and Jason get here.
Is there anything we needed to do? Which is that?
That is Wednesday 2.
So now we are done with Wednesday.
Tom, what did they say during the plumbing segment
Yeah, we're
that I needed to cut out?
He said fucking
Okay.
in the middle of it, and
I feel like when you looked at me, I looked up and it was around 16, but I'll double check.
okay, it was in the middle.
Yeah.
No, Norm, they've been pretty good in there. Occasionally I have to just kick something out of there that sometimes I think people forget what they're sending to what page. That happens sometimes. But most people have kind of understood that, we want it to just be fun. My scooter shot came in. That's fast, right? Did you hear my story? I thought it was coming from London. I paid for the extra shipping.
No.
And it came from Georgia. I could have just paid $20 and got it here the same day.
Did it come from London?
No, normally the stuff I buy.
Okay.
So I just went. I was going fast, right? I was like, I want to get here. I want to get here. You whacked my bee's nest. I'm like, I'm gonna get this done. I was all fired up, in a good way, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And I just said, Max, get me the fast ship and get it here. And I looked. It came from Georgia. I'm like, whoa.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, that's true. I got it. Yeah, the guy wrote me and told me that the back end shock that I ordered, and it looks exactly like the other one, which is weird. They make them look weird and kind of old.
Yeah.
So it'll blend right in. And I'll just keep the other one. I'll put it in my original part box, I guess, right?
Yeah.
In case somebody... He said he was most surprised that I'm still running the original back shock. He says people don't do that. That's very rare. which actually made me feel pretty good about holding on to that bike. I'm glad I didn't tear it all apart.
Who's coming in next?
Kenny and Jason.
Kenny and Jason, the Space Pups guys.
You've talked to them before. Kenny was in a band called Cider. He did that web series called The Rub.
The Tug and Rub?
It was like a web series about a massage parlor in a strip mall. Remember that? Kenny's not coming in today?
He had lost his voice, so we're going to have to reschedule with him.
No. Hope he feels better. No more double Kenny. Dave on Hulu. Charles, yes. Lil Dicky is super funny. He's really good on the... he was on Maddie Matheson's YouTube show. He's really good. Who was the guy that Tuttle was beefing with? Pervert Pete?
Oh, yeah.
Pervert Pete's fine. Occasionally he'll reach out and just say hi. He's very nice on YouTube. We pegged that guy wrong. Yeah, he's just a fake entertainer guy, just having fun.
Yeah.
We got 15 minutes.
You want to do something?
Yeah, unless they show up early.
We could do.
You could talk to the chat.
Let's do a 15. We could do for like Monday.
Oh, for the Memorial Day.
Yeah, let's keep
Like
going through
7.
emails. I love emails.
I gotta talk about
you
like,
got some?
YouTube influencers and like
Okay.
my kids watching
Let's do it.
Unspeakable.
Bring us back. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Okay.
Uh-oh, it looks like you have your problem hat on.
Okay, this is gonna sound. I really am trying to analyze this because I realize that I'm hypocritical because I can think of myself watching things back when I was a kid that my parents would think are stupid and not.
Give me an example because
okay.
it would help me better if you were able to. Yeah, let's do exactly what you're saying. Let's take little Tom is watching something that your dad, the diesel mechanic, your mother Marilyn that we love, Mama Van. What is something that you watched and loved? It's got to be something you enjoyed and loved. See, I know that's hard for you to think of, but
see, I'm trying. If I go back to when I was Tommy or Max's age, there wasn't enough. All there were cartoons.
Yeah,
right. There were Darkwing Duck and.
You don't watch The Simpsons?
And I don't know. Not when I was.
No, not at that age. I didn't either.
I think I was watching The Simpsons when I was like 12.
Man, my dad watched a lot of stupid stuff with me, so I don't know if I can even be in this conversation.
So, but what I'm talking about is they have gravitated towards obviously YouTube and YouTube shows and content, right? And specifically, the YouTube content provider, I don't know what his name is, but it's Unspeakable. Is the I think that's his name. It's his radio name or whatever.
Why can't they have regular names?
It's the same as
Mr.
radio.
Beast.
It is the same as radio.
I never, as an old man that used his real name his entire radio career, I hate the fake name. And they're worse than, you know what? No, hold on. You haven't even listened to my argument. I'll stick up for the Drunky the Bear name all day long. It makes sense. But Xenon 62 does not make any sense, and everybody's got some weird name that doesn't make any sense.
I think
Unspeakable, is he unspeakable? Is his topics, are they unspeakable? Why is he called Unspeakable? Can he not speak? It doesn't make any sense. Do you see why it angers me?
I think it's just his gaming name.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And
he should be forced to change it and use his real name, which is like Harvey or Harry or Jerry.
Random name that he chose gaming, and then it got so popular that he just stuck with it.
Like Mr. Beast was a random Xbox gamer tag. I hate that.
Anyway, so but it happens in radio.
Very old man rant.
No, you.
I mean, there's a millionaire man cow and a millionaire cow man.
Yeah, but because you take because of his last name. Frogman's because he looks like a frog. Buckethead's because he had a head like a bucket.
Tuttle?
Tuttle is because they had another intern that was like Tuttle that would take that much abuse.
Yeah. There's a bunch.
Fat Randy's fat.
Yeah. There's a bunch of
Puerto Rican Jerry's Puerto Rican.
So I'm watching. I'm trying to. They're watching Unspeakable episodes, right? And one of the episodes
Unspeakable
are him, like the main Unspeakable guy.
No, I
and then
will not. What's his name? Do
his
you call
buddy.
him that?
I don't even care. I just
No, but
I'm
if you
looking
were to
at it.
ask Tommy and Max, would they be like, "Oh yeah, that's like when they
Yes,
look at him,
yeah.
his name is Unspeakable"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's like
All right.
you know when you're at a radio event, they call you drunkie.
No, but I'll still stick up for that. That made sense.
Yeah.
You were drunky in a bear costume. It made sense. Unspeakable makes zero sense.
I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
But
All I
think
wanted to be is validated.
you're right. But I think why it doesn't make sense is because there's some BS gamer name that they chose as teens, and then it got hot, and then they can't stop.
Then he should be like Jerry Unspeakable Johnson, or like it should be.
He has been like a wrestler.
Yeah, you're not unspeakable.
Anyway, it seems to me, and it could be because I'm looking at it through the lens of dumb old man, that they're not putting much effort into the content they're providing. Now,
Back in my day, we used to walk through the snow.
It could
Well,
be
it's old. It is
because in one of the things now. I'll give Mr. Beast credit. He seems like he puts a lot of effort in production and stuff. And then Unspeakable, I've seen other things where he puts a lot of effort. And maybe it just ebbs and flows just like us. Like, we put more effort into some things and some things we phone it in, I imagine, even though we try as hard.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like they're trying. It's them too, him
Well,
and
that's
his
the
buddy.
formula, right?
That's what I want to know.
I mean, that's the only part I believe in is the formula.
Because I
hate the names and I hate the content, but I think they look at it and they're like, look, kind of like our first viral video we had. The only viral video we really had was trombone, the T word for breast. Let's just call it trombone boobies. The reason that worked is because we didn't put a lot of effort into it. We thought of a pretty decent plan of how to execute it. We executed it swiftly and quickly. The production values were really good, right, for what it was.
But I guess the content is more of a avant-garde, weird, like what is happening. That's like that's the point of it is to be weird, right? So there's a point. It's him, Unspeakable, and his buddy. They're sitting there, and then there's internet videos just playing, and they're reacting to them. Right, and they're talking. They're mic'd up, and
so it's a reaction video.
They're reacting.
So your sons are watching Unspeakable reaction videos.
Yes, and but their reaction most of the time is just laughing or like.
But they've already made a connection with Unspeakable as the character. So then they're just watching content with him.
And then but I want him to throw in some jokes.
Or his patented catchphase like, man, that's unspeakable, dog. He doesn't have a catchphrase.
I want
right?
them to.
You want more traditional media, and you're not going to get that.
Okay.
Right?
America's Funniest Home Videos.
The classic. The original Unspeakable.
Saget would. They'd have writers, and Saget would throw in.
He'd have a dog pushing a brick, and he'd be pushing a rock, pushing a rock, pushing a rock, pushing a rock, still pushing a rock.
But that's just not the trend now.
Yeah, it's not.
Even Deerdick, he has jokes.
Who's an old man now?
I love that he refers to the host as Saget and Deerdick.
And I want them to pre-watch the videos.
It's not for you, though.
I know it's not. And my sons, I'm watching them. They're obsessed with. They're just But then I ask them, I'm like, do you think those jokes are funny? Or do you think he's like, I don't know? And then I'm like,
they don't
want
like
me to
that
shut up.
anything has a point.
I'm like, have they said anything funny, or do they like make any good points, or like, oh, that's a pretty clever joke, or do they just like they're just like laughing at the video, but they're not saying,
why don't
like,
we do it?
They're like, what's that? What? That's it.
Why don't we do a version of that and see how it holds up?
Our audience doesn't want that.
Right.
They want us making jokes.
I don't know, because you did a reaction video on our TikTok, and people liked it.
Yeah, I did.
That is the trend.
I did a reaction.
You might not like it.
What did I do?
I did
not you. I said Dan.
Yeah,
not everything's about you, Tom.
Not everything's about you. Egomaniac. I knew he's been writing those emails to Melissa.
He thought he was the only one on TikTok.
Yeah, he wrote those emails to Melissa. He's like, pump up the toms. Come on. But no, I did a video where it's just watching this like toothless lady dance, like this hillbilly dancing, and then I went. And I just made a face.
And people loved it.
And it had like 2,000
That's different.
rolls.
That's a funny little TikTok clip that's comedy. and then you did.
So my reaction
and-
was comedy.
and you
Why
react.
is his reaction comedy?
So what Tom's saying is I did what he
You're
wants.
trying.
Invincible. What's this guy's name?
Unspeakable.
Unspeakable.
I called him
You can't even
Invincible.
speak it.
Well, no, because
It's unspeakable.
Invincible is the show I like. And
You
it's
play it-
I
no.
hate on what's his name?
Unspeakable.
Funny reaction when someone who's the guy Ryan Reynolds watches a video and then rolls his eyes. That he thought about what would be funny reaction to this video, and I'm going to show it that clip, and then I'm like,
Can we possibly pull up one of these reaction
Let's
videos
watch
of
it.
Unspeakable?
Yes.
So
Okay,
because
I'll
I've
do
never
it.
watched any of them.
Yeah. Like, rewatch it now.
I think you're just mad because your boys are watching and paying attention and laughing to another man. That's
no,
not you.
no.
That
if it-
sounds
no.
weird, obsessive.
It's kind of like the "Don't Call a guy sir" with
No,
Crystal.
we watch.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I love
forgot.
watching America's Funniest Home Videos with him, and then like when Carlton's making a joke.
Yeah, but because that's the kind of comedy you like. This is what they like. You just don't like it.
But I
And
don't.
that's
even,
okay. You don't have to like it.
I don't think they like it. I think
well, why would they keep watching it?
they're addicted to it because they're addicted to the nothingness of it. It's like being addicted to candy or whatever. It's empty calories, and like the fact that there's no thought put into it.
Your
or,
wife likes memes.
You know what I just
but this
found?
is a long version. This is not just a funny little.
Well, they're
snippet.
half of your wife, so they like video memes.
It's like a 15-minute video.
Is this it?
That doesn't look like the guy that I'm looking at.
I can't find Unspeakable. Here's Unspeakable, but where would I find reaction videos?
I don't know. I don't even know what they call them. It's just them sitting there.
This guy does the exact same. I mean, like if you look
I don't
at his-
even think their reaction. I don't.
You
even,
know what's amazing about Unspeakable is his thumbnails, what he does, the colors he chooses, and everything about his thumbnails are exactly, I mean, to the letter, Mr. Beast. They are
Yeah.
exactly the same.
They're all they know how the algorithm works.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
really
gonna-
do.
It's. I just want them to. Would it hurt to write some
Oh,
jokes?
here it is. Unspeakable
Would it hurt?
Reacts.
Would it take an extra 10 minutes to be like, hey, what do we want? What are the clips we're gonna watch today? Let me just look through them, jot some jokes down, and like this would be funny reaction to this. Like just put a little bit of work into it, into the prep of the entertainment.
Yeah, I can't watch this. It's terrible. I can't find the one you're talking about. It's absolutely terrible.
It's just it's all over. I want them to put some more effort into the writing of the content.
Now, what do your boys say
Anything.
when you're talking to your sons and you're, talking about that? Do you ever say like, "Hey, like, I don't want you watching that" or anything? You don't say that.
Well, let them choose what they want to watch. I'm
Right.
not saying what I realize they're into something different.
Yeah.
I want them to explain what they find entertaining out of
Right,
this.
right.
Because then I could understand and not be so mad about that it's nothing. If they told me like I like the fact that it's super chill and they don't really care and the laid back
They
vibe.
probably don't know how to articulate that.
Yeah,
at their
I'm
age.
thinking that too.
Articulate. They can talk. Because it seems like they're hypnotized
It is
by
frustrating.
garbage.
Yeah, it is frustrating,
Because-
Sam, to see these.
Yeah, but our parents said the same thing about us in video games and TV.
That I know, but I go back and look at the.
I must not have the gene. I didn't have that.
So, for instance,
I was never locked in my room. I never had my video game console. Now, granted, we weren't rich, and the only one I ever got was a Sega Genesis. But I must not have that addictive gene that you and I've talked about for years now, because I never played I never stayed home and played a full day. I never took a whole Saturday to play.
the games weren't as good, and then there was a point where
Yeah, I think you're right.
You got to the point you couldn't beat the level. You got
Yeah, you
frustrated.
go outside.
Now
Take a break.
Well, open world is endless. Like
That's true.
You
You
play
just stay
Grand Theft
inside.
Auto forever.
Yeah, it's a different reality.
It's virtual reality. But going back to because I tried, then I'm like, well, wait a minute. If someone looked at Jackass or Tom Green, that generation would be like, this is stupid nonsense garbage that is
Well,
nonsense.
they planned it
right?
out. At least they storyboarded it.
That,
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, when Tom Green was doing Bum on a Moose, right? And then I could see my
My
diesel
bum is on the rail, yeah.
my diesel mechanic dad being like,
Oh, my
"What?"
dad hated Tom Green.
Like
oh,
he was already dead. You never got to see me watch Tom Green.
My
but
dad did.
If he did see me, he'd be like, "This is stupid. This is the
Yeah.
dumbest nonsense
my
ever."
dad also hated Jack Black.
But I could now understand. At least Tom Green went out, found a dead moose, right? and then thought, what would be the most absurd thing I could do? And then I'm gonna make this moose. And then it was funny.
Now edit that.
He edited it together and then made it look absurdly stupid, but that was the content. I don't think Unspeakable's doing. Now there's other content he's doing that's fine. It's like he's doing
I think maybe I can help.
stuff.
I was gonna say he does challenges and prank videos.
I think
too.
I know
That's
what-
fine.
I
That's where he spends some effort. Is good.
Is this your problem though? Like, because I can
Get
see,
to work.
I can see this being sort of a problem. It is sort of like he knows his content isn't good. And he knows that he doesn't have to be like a Mr. Beast or like even a Jackass or Ridiculousness or a Tom Green.
Yeah.
So he doesn't try hard. He just stays there in that murky kind of kid-like. You're almost in a weird way. Now, this is where we step it up a notch. You're almost preying on the fact that kids can't articulate to their parents why they like that, right? And you know it's addictive, and you're just continuing to pump it out, right?
See,
it's not good content,
and
you know it's not.
The other content and that is actually, I understand it, is like there is a big, like the movie big element to these people's lives. Like they're rich, right? And then they could do ridiculous.
Child for life, Peter Pan sort of thing?
So like for instance, they get a mansion, whether they rent it or buy it or I don't know, whatever, and then they'll fill it full of sand. Like the entire like bottom floor, like the kitchen, whatever, the living room, and it'll all be filled with sand, and then they'll race remote control cars around. You know, they're doing what you would do if you were a rich kid in an adult body, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a big thing. Like they're doing absurd, crazy, like just like this trampoline stacked $1 million in the backyard.
I enjoyed that one actually.
And
The trampoline stacking one I enjoyed.
You're buying
super dangerous.
all these toys and stuff and living this crazy. You're filling your pool full of Orbeez and all this stuff. I get that content. That content is fine. I understand.
But this guy, you don't Unspeakable, you do not
Unspeakable,
understand.
no. Unspeakable does this content too.
Right, that's my point. Is he already does the stuff that you're talking about? You just don't like this specific.
Just that one because it
But
doesn't.
what I'm saying is
he's just preying on the relationship.
they have a with him, so they're gonna watch. There's celebrities all the time on TikTok that do that. Who gives a damn about the reactions? But people like Madonna, so they'll watch her do a reaction video. That's all it is.
Yeah. So your sons love the Orbeez and the dumb things that they do, and then if he's watching something, oh my, this makes it even worse, Sam, because what they're doing is sort of a variation of what we do, where you like do comedy and you banter, right? And your sons laugh harder at him than they laugh at you.
No, they're not even laughing. They never laugh.
Well, at least
because
they're watching them, right?
It's not funny. There's no jokes. They're not even doing jokes. They're not even attempting.
Okay, you're going to have to get a version of this, and we'll revisit this sometime, because I want to see
I'll show
this.
you.
Yeah, just snag a video
It's just them,
this tonight. Snag one and
they're
shoot
like,
me the
what?
URL.
It is like they're watching something, and they're like, what? Oh, my God. What? Oh, no, wow.
Maybe we should
It sounds
do
like
that.
you on the show. So they're just doing you.
Actually, it sounds like me during any interview we have. I'm like, yes,
I'm just like, say something. Say something about it. What do you think is funny about that?
Oh my God. Can't they just enjoy something?
But it's entertainment. They're putting out entertainment.
He wants them to have purpose so bad.
I want them to be entertaining, or at least try, or think to themselves like, what funny joke can I make out of this? Or like,
No, because that's the way you think, and they're just not going to think that way.
They're millionaires.
Yeah. Oh boy, they are.
They're
you know, there's
stinking
nothing.
rich.
You know what I do think about a lot? I think about this a lot. Okay, and part of this has to do with being over at the Sausage Castle and seeing these type of like adult playgrounds, right?
Yeah.
All of these guys, Ryan, the toy guy, the toy kid, he was like the first one. Mr. Beast, Unspeakable, the guy that stacked the trampolines, Preston, all these guys, right?
Yeah, Preston.
There's nothing more sad than the next morning when they wake up and they walk downstairs and look at their McMansion filled with sand, trashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sad. You got an inflatable skeleton laying over here. You got sand everywhere, everything, Orbeez everywhere, water guns, just a wasteland of plastic garbage.
I don't think they live, not like, they're not doing the Busey. Like, they're renting houses.
rental houses and tearing them up and then paying to put them back together.
I think these guys are next generation of, like, they're making so much money. And also, their crew that they have, I mean, they do their crew does all this work. They just show up at this rental house. Like, I'm pretty sure they hire production crews.
You just show up in a dad hat with a mustache and you jump around in Orbeez. Your crew films it, puts it on the internet. Kids watch it. You're a millionaire.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, why not?
Easy job.
We
need a crew. We are the crew. We're the performers and the crew. That's who thought of that? Was that my fault? That's my fault.
If we'd be doing this, if we were making, $2-3 million more a year gross revenue just off everything, because then we'd have a lot more money to have to throw around at the content. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's fill this entire studio with sand. Luca will love it.
It's in the amount, and they're probably putting way too much money into the content, like Mr. Beast or whatever, like on pay, like if a CEO of a corporation like broke down his business, I bet they would be like, "You're doing this untraditionally."
Right, and that's why it works, though.
It is why it works.
Yeah,
but how
if you mess with the formula, you screw it up.
How long could this work? You're probably putting way too much money into this.
Well,
There's
until we
way
find
more waste.
Until we find something else, right? I mean, influencer is pretty hot right now, but I mean, it will change.
Yeah. People.
It'll morph to something else.
Morph into, or start watching. The kids. Is the next generation below our kids? Are they going to be into YouTube as much?
Don't know.
Are they going to be, it's maybe this is going to be around for this will be the norm for another. I mean, YouTube just bought the rights to the NFL ticket and stuff. They're getting more into traditional media. Like maybe this will be the norm until the next.
Yeah.
Until our kids' grandkids, and there's something else. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, it is crazy to think about it, though. I mean, like, we do our streams and put them up, and they're steadily getting better. They're like, we have a YouTube channel that you can watch this stream, replays of this stream. Any of the little videos that we put on TikTok or Reels, that's all on our YouTube. So we put all that stuff out. It's hard, though, because there's so much content. Like just as we're recording right now live on Twitch, I looked under in real life, there are like 60 other shows live right now with us all across the globe, like in Europe and Asia. It's nuts.
I'm sure there's going to be a pendulum swing in the next decade where like they just realize how bad our phones are for our brains and how addictive they are, and like so many people. I saw some Surgeon General warning that came out that was on some story about that they were warning about getting kids into social media too early or having them spend too much time on it. And I could see the addictive nature of screens and how it could be bad for society in a decade, and cause depression and like there's dopamine depletion.
Yeah.
And
I've been putting mine down at night, and it sucks because there'll be times when I'm watching baseball or listening to music, and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to look something up." Like I've now grown to watch TV by looking things up, right? And I force myself not to do that now. If I'm watching a show and I see an actress and I'm like, "Ooh, who is that?" No, sorry, you just got to roll with not knowing.
You get distracted. You're like, I'm gonna look, and
it's torture though. It's like now
you can't sit still for 3 minutes.
But going backwards is like torture. Like I'm watching it, I'm like, who is that? I know
just
her.
Pause it and look it up. And then press play.
No, I don't like. I know. I don't want to get on my phone. I don't want to be. I don't want to feel the need to be shackled to that throughout my life. I should be able to just watch a show, not know who the actress is, and still enjoy her performance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And not just all of a sudden your brain jumps to something else, and then
why do I think she was in Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, but I could just look it up in 2 seconds rather than dwell on it in my brain. So I'd rather do that.
No, I try not to dwell. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to be in the moment.
Yeah, and then not know. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting where we're at with our relationship with the phone in 5 to 10 years, and I think it's gonna be like something close to cigarettes or something where it's going to be
warning.
Like you do too much of it and it can cause depression, anxiety, or
There's already been studies on that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're there. They're going to start galvanizing them, tightening them up.
Yeah. The more it goes, the I feel like, especially with the kids too. That's what I'm scared of.
Tom loves the kids.
No. Well, I mean, I don't want them to grow up where they've never been okay with their own thoughts because they've always had something to go to be entertained.
I'm on the fence about getting Maisie. Oh, she finally asked for something decent for her birthday. Normally she asks for like furniture or some adult garbage. I guess it's kind of adult. She's like, my iPad's pretty slow, and it's little. It's like the old first generation iPad mini, and she wants a new iPad. I'm kind of, oh God, buy another one. But you got it. You need one. Gotta have one. So.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break.
All right. What's up, guys? Hey. Come on in. Good. How's it going? Hey, you're going to meet Tom. Yeah. Where's that going to sound?
Monday, the 29th.
Do we have anything?
Nope. Segment 3.
Where should we?
One of you can sit in this corner, and one can sit here.
You guys want a drink of water or anything?
Oh, actually, I would love water.
Yeah, we got water in the fridge.
Kenny, what's up,
Hey,
man?
Daniel, how you doing?
Jason, what's up, man?
How's it going?
I'll meet you in just 1 second, man. Kenny, you been good?
I've been great, man.
Awesome, man. Congrats on the movie.
Oh, thank you.
That's Monday 1?
3.
3. God bless it. I gotta get in line for the restroom. Good to see you, man. How you been? What's up, Jason? Good to see you, man. Where's Luca? Is he in there or hiding? So, we have a studio lizard that has been living on. This is weird, but he's been living on that camera, Sam's cam, next to the plant, right in front of her. Oh, right. Yeah, right there. And he hasn't. Last 2 days he hasn't been on there. He's living in her email box, and he's been in there for 5 weeks. This is his 5th week, and we feed him mealworms, and yeah, that's his little dish. And we put his water out, and yeah, he's a Florida trash lizard. Turned you guys on.
I didn't sit on him.
There you go. Yeah, I kind of try to watch, and I love the art, man. I have so many questions. All right, let me get your cameras ready. Thanks for coming in, y'all.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry that we're about to grind everything to a halt because that was such a lively.
No. It'll get lively again.
Okay.
Like we have no problem
What are
screaming.
you talking about? Space Pups is exciting.
I'm stoked because it's a whole movie about pee-pee dogs, and I love pee-pee dogs. Like Dansby, I have a new West Highland Terrier. He's 9 months old. His name's Dansby, to replace Caesar, who passed away, and he's awesome. He's my best friend. I love him so much.
That's awesome.
Look at those guys, though. All right.
All right.
It does make me think, though, that we're wasting way too much time and money making movies when we could just be reacting to things.
Yeah. Well, you got to build your audience enough to where they want to see you react.
Yep.
It is like just the main vein, like just like a drug where it's just my kids just keep on watching the same guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And it's like working at a production company. Sometimes companies want social media stuff, and you can't produce it too well, like because the audience will kind of, no, I don't want anything to do with that. I want the stuff that seems homegrown and like in the moment.
It's weird how they prefer a more amateur, less produced content that seems more real, but the less produced it is and less planned, you're just going to get someone just looking at a video or whatever, and then the psychology is interesting that people prefer that. You know, like my kids will watch that over a Disney show that cost $1 million an episode to produce. You know, they like so much time and effort put into this that they don't give a shit. They'll watch some guy watching a video that literally took $32 to produce, like with the you know.
I think we used to like look up to movie stars. And now it's like, because they were different than us, they were better looking and they were more talented than us. But now I think the younger generation, like my kids, are like looking at people because they feel exactly like them, like they relate to them exactly instead of like idolizing them.
I will say I
like my children to idolize people.
The one positive I do see as a parent is like these guys like Unspeakable, Preston, all these like YouTubers, Mr. Beast or whatever. They are doing more positive things than, and when I grew up like watching Jackass, like people are shitting on their friend's face. That's like,
true.
They're pulling their dick out, or they're like nude in public. They're fucking vandals. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're doing horrible shit. And like even Tom Green, he's like fucking making a sculpture of his parents giving each other 69. You know, like hard, like. If I'm looking at one of my kids to look up to someone they're watching, I'd rather it be them than Bam Margera or Tom Green, you know, even though Tom Green wasn't. But the shit he was doing was.
I like post-testicular cancer Tom Green. I would say, Maisie, if you want to be like anybody, be like post-testicular cancer Drew Barrymore breakup Tom Green.
because I think he's really good now.
But think about
prior to that, he's putting his bum on the rail. I
know,
don't need you to do that.
There were 10-year-olds in the 90s looking at Jackass like, that ain't good, you know?
Right. It probably
As a
hurt
parent.
a lot of people,
And
too.
now you're complaining because they're like, my kids are watching Mr. Beast cure blindness.
Yeah,
believe
they're
this
doing all
garbage.
like all the guys on
you
YouTube
see-
now are doing
Did
positive
you see
stuff
he
and
did the
like
hearing? He did that, and then I made the joke. I was like, "Seen it? See what I did there? Okay, let's get out of
like
here."
they're not dickheads to each other. They're like all positive and like supportive to their friends. You know what I'm saying? For the most part,
I do like Mr. Beast has a cold side though, where he's like, "Don't try to be better than me. I am the best at what I do." You know, like I like that.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
nothing behind the eyes.
The business side of it.
So he still has that motor where he wants to be the best. And
Oh
he's
yeah,
not
you
all-
can hear it too.
Yeah.
Like he's focused, man. That
But
guy
that's
is-
fine. I
it's
want
fine.
my kids.
Doesn't
to
mean
wanna
he's
be
a.
the
I don't
best.
think he's a
Yeah.
bad person or anything. I just like when he turns that switch on about like this is what we're doing. It's kind of scary. All right, you ready to start this?
Yeah.
Where's this going?
Tuesday 1?
Tuesday 1. You guys are good. You got waters.
Yeah, no, I'm good though.
Oh, did you? Let me grab you one. Hold on. That way you don't get parchy mouth. You want one too?
Sure. Just in case.
You got it. We also have a lot of Asian teas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm about the Arizona iced tea. I haven't seen that stuff in forever. Can't wait to have one. All right. Would you like to start, Mr. Van?
Yeah, the Tuesday one. Yeah.
Tuesday 1. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now, and we'd love for you to join us Monday through Friday. So if you have either of those web addresses in your web browser, check it out. Twitch.tv/TomandDanLive or YouTube.com/@TomandDanLive.
Also, we're doing another beer release with Hourglass
Yeah,
Brewing. It's going to be June 10th
Come on
at
out.
5 p.m.
Yeah, in the afternoon, we're going to be hanging out and drinking some beers.
Yep, Scootin' and Tootin' Pale Ale.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to Eric Pabone for doing the art.
I really
and
appreciate
Hourglass.
you doing that. It was very nice of you to make a Dan beer. Why did you make? What did I do?
Am
I dying?
It's your birthday
Do I have
weekend.
cancer?
No, it's your birthday weekend, and
Does my wife know something
plus-
and she told you, and you're like, well, let's make him a beer because he'll be dead soon.
You're doing you're redoing your scooter, making
it's
it electric.
It's a nightmare.
And so we're gonna do trivia from 6:30 to 8.
Real trivia with Curtis Earth.
Yeah,
we got the Earth.
And me, Daniel, and Sam will be making some jokes while you compete in trivia. We got prizes, first, second, third, so all free, and just come hang out and have some Scootin' and Tootin' Pale Ale.
Would love to see you out there.
All right, so this is cool. We've got Kenny and Jason and to talk about the movie that you guys made. It's called Space Pups, or you're involved in it?
Hold it up just a touch higher so everybody can see the pups.
There it is, Space Pups.
That is Space Pups. My friend Kenny, Kenny's been on the show multiple times for different projects. And was it the Rub?
Yeah. The Rub web series a few years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remind
yeah.
you guys. Pre-pandemic, we had Kenny. It was pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
We had Kenny in to talk about a web series he was. Were you producing it or directing?
Yeah, producing and directing that one.
Yeah, and this is, like I like to see that every time I meet Kenny, he's doing something a little bit bigger and better than the last thing he did. When I first met Kenny, he was in a band and he put in an album. And then I met him again. The band's getting back together and they were doing like some reunion shows. And then I meet him again. He's doing like a web series. He's doing a movie. Now he's doing Space Pups. It's really cool.
It's because I refuse to get a real job.
Okay.
all right.
Us too. Sure. I like that. So
I like that you questioned. Like, I guess did you make it?
where did you guys steal this poster from?
Yeah.
When someone presents a movie to me, I'm like, well, you're executive producer,
Yeah.
because that
Are you
could mean
in
that
it?
you just threw money at it.
I've always wanted to do that, where you pay the money
know.
and then you're just like, I walked on set one day.
Yeah. Or you're the director or the writer, or the producer could mean a lot of different things. It gets super complicated to me.
So how did Space Pups come about?
Well, so just first of all, to clarify,
Please.
I did produce this, and we can kind of explain what that means.
Okay.
But Jason Murphy was the director of
Nice.
this.
Okay.
There you go.
And we've made lots of movies together, lots of these family movies. This one came about because we had already done a couple movies with one dog that talked. and we had this desire to do a movie with 3 dogs that were talking.
Okay.
That
so-
sounds like a lot of work, especially for the Make Their Mouth Move department.
Yeah, and
Tell
that's
me about
actually
it.
that's Jason also. So he's a very talented visual effects artist, and so he's the one actually making them talk.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it started. Was we were making these kind of lower budget movies, and I ended up, out of necessity, learning how to do like different visual effects and stuff, just because we couldn't afford to like hire somebody to do it. So
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do these visual effects. So then I started thinking about like, well, what could I do? And one of the things, like, I could make a dog talk. We should do a talking dog movie. So we did a movie called Robo Dog. That's like an Inspector Gadget kind of dog.
Hold on. I
and
have
made him
not
talk.
watched Robo Dog. Write that down, Sam. I'll fire up Robo
where
Dog.
can you find RoboDog?
It's on Amazon, anywhere like streaming, and Amazon, iTunes, any of those
I
places.
spent a lot of time on Tubi. Is it on Tubi?
I think it is, yeah.
I love Tubi. I'm in Tubi all the time.
Yeah.
Space Pups is currently on Tubi as well.
Oh, I'm going to get up some Space Pups tonight. Me and my daughter.
Now, okay,
We're doing it.
So now, if
Space Pup Tuesday.
because I want to cut corners. You see, so if I
There you go.
was producing this
Stuffed
movie,
animal dog.
I would say let's go the homeward bound model and just we'll show the dog and then we'll have the audio of what he's thinking. And then not do, because the mouth moving is like a lot of work with CGI, and you have to. So we'll just, because in the old school dog talking movies, it would just, the dog would be there and they'd they
Or
call
they'd
him-
have a narrator,
you
that would walk you through the old Disney animal ones. They would have somebody
My
talking.
backup was that, and remember, like the Cat from Outer Space was that old Disney movie. His collar lit up when he talked.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Instead of the mouth moving, you could just be like, let's make the collar glow when he talks.
I
Okay,
love cutting
yeah.
corners,
Yeah.
but you guys did the full on
Yeah,
mouth move.
We sometimes regret our decisions.
Yeah.
Make no mistake though, on the first time, we would always go like, if this doesn't work, like we're on set filming the dog, like if it doesn't work, we'll do the homeward bound way. That was our backup plan.
All right. So let's
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
Space
And you had to
Pups.
go through the entire thing knowing you had that black. Oh my God,
So-
that's a lot of work, y'all.
So working with animals as your actors, I mean, obviously you have other actors and actresses, but
Yeah, it looks like you got a pretty. Like I see 4 main actors on the poster at least.
How do you find the dogs? Is it like any other audition process where you audition different dogs and their trainers?
Or do you go to a dog house and say, like, look, I want a lab, I want a Jack
We get
Russell,
trained.
gotta have a Jack Russell, gotta have a Chihuahua.
We got extremely lucky the first time, because when we did RoboDog, the first one, we did kind of interview a few different animal trainers, and we happened to meet Lourdes Edlin, who's just the best, and she's got a company called Action Pack, and she trains animals. And I've worked in other, like at a commercial production company, and they hired different animal trainers, and not the same. Lourdes is the best. So once we found her, then the rest of the movies, it was our first call. We didn't bother. And Mac, who's here on the
Which
in
one
the
is
center?
Mac? Yeah. Oh yeah, put it up like that. That's great. Yeah, there's Mac.
Mac played RoboDog, and then is also playing.
So he's like the Ryan Reynolds of the franchise, because he's
Yeah.
like getting a lot of screen time. And then you had a lab, and then is that a mix? Like a
This is
Chihuahua?
Parker, and that's Salsa, the Chihuahua.
Salsa.
So I'm curious to. Okay, so you write the script, and do you have a basic knowledge of what the dog is capable of? Like, because if you're writing some scene and you're like,
Wow,
well,
then
do I know?
Salsa needs to fly through the window.
Well, not even that, but it's like, well, what can dogs be trained to do? Because obviously the trainer's off camera, and how is the scene even set up? Like, do you walk the dog through it and then it learns from that, or is it kind of you get what you get, close enough type of deal?
A lot of it is being willing. Like, we knew, like, we're gonna have to fake a lot of things. Like,
Okay, yeah.
in the script, in the first RoboDog, we're like, the dog climbs up this ladder, and we're like, we're never gonna find a dog that can climb up a ladder.
Tie a rope around his neck.
But I had a
And then
friend.
you run it through the.
I had a friend that was an animal trainer at SeaWorld who basically knew Lourdes and recommended. He's like, I have this animal trainer friend. Like, you should talk to her. She sent us a video, and in the video, Mac was climbing a ladder and like doing all of these things
That's awesome.
So almost the opposite, where we had written very few things in the first script, and then we saw what Mac could do, and we're like, oh, let's write that in.
So then you can write it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Once
yeah,
you
yeah.
have a good idea of what the dog is capable of doing, you write it all in.
You find out all the tricks they could do. Right? It's like every trick they could do, you write it in there somewhere.
What can he say? He can say the word "I love you." Okay, well then make the password for the secret "I love you." And he has to say it to the computer.
Yeah, we tried to find dogs that knew English, but that it would have made it much easier for us.
So the minority dogs are cheaper.
Are there like some sort of?
It's very unfortunate.
And if there are, I'm going to be mad about it. But if there are some sort of SAG rules for dogs and the amount of time that they can work on set, because there shouldn't be. It should be work them until
their tongues hang out. Just work them like dogs.
Yeah.
We're very careful with that. Lourdes is really great. What we like about her is that everything is just rewards based. Everything is food or Mac doesn't even care about food. It's all about his ball.
Okay.
It's just if the dogs won't do it, we just move on. So like we try and say, hey, we need the dog to come in and stop here and do this. She'll say, okay, give me a couple minutes, and she'll like try and get him to do it. And he is amazing. But there's definitely sometimes that we're just like, yeah, he's not really feeling it right now, so we'll just move on.
Now, does he go to his trailer and like chills out?
He does, yeah.
And then you guys work on other things until he's ready to give it a go again. So it's just like, I mean, in that case, it's just like a regular, movie set.
Do you guys work jokes in for the parents? Because when in kids' movies, stereotypically, like it seems like the ones that people like the most have a little something for the parents watching with the kids, or a little above the kids' heads.
I'll put in one joke about sex for that. Like that.
But you got to be careful because some parents are like, "What?
Cancel those dogs."
or just they, when it's a family movie, and then you have anything, even some like, a little colorful joke there that may be too far for someone that's, the range of what people.
I don't even know the range anymore, man.
They get away with a good amount in like Pixar stuff, and that's like the biggest player in the game, right? Like they tell some jokes that are a little, even
how do you guys handle that when writing and censors and also approving this for like families? How do you balance that?
We've had kind of an education in that because things would pop up that we didn't even think of. Like there's like this organization called Dove that kind of gives ratings to kids' movies, and a lot of parents will live by that. Look at that rating and see if they're
I know there's another one that we've used before. It doesn't have a great, oh my God, what a great name. Dove, is your child watching stuff it shouldn't, Dove? Look at that.
But it's stuff like, are they putting the seatbelt on when they get in the car?
Right, wearing a helmet when you're riding a bike.
And it's like, if they're in an adventure and they're on in an old truck or whatever,
buckle up.
They still have to buckle up. There can be no smoking, which is good, but it's just stuff that you don't think about when
the big one was helmets on skateboards, helmets on bikes. I didn't realize that until there was an episode, I think, of Bluey that they had, and there was also an episode of Peppa Pig where they had a spider, and it was a Australian spider or something, or they had to pull that particular episode from Peppa Pig because spiders are very dangerous in Australia. And then the other one,
the head injury rate in spiders is just skyrocketing.
Yeah. No, this one was for spiders biting, and then the other one was like, obviously you don't want to get on your bike riding it without a helmet.
Or you could do what I do as a parent is I let my kids 8 and 9 watch PG-13 stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, PG-13, they're fine.
They're close.
Then when something scares them, I get mad. I'm like, whoa, you should have warned me.
Should have got on
That was a little frightening for them. Anyway. So when you finish a movie like Space Pups, what happens next? Because
tell us about the process of like getting it.
You shop it out. How does that process even happen?
Luckily, that's not our job. That sounds crazy to kind of say, but we have salespeople and stuff like that actually just took it to the Cannes Film Market, which is adjacent to the Cannes Film Festival. So it's not like this is at the Cannes Film Festival. It's like next door they have the market where like these kind of movies are sold and stuff like that. So
you've got on one side, you've got Leonardo getting heralded. And what's the new Scorsese thing? What is it? Like the murder of the Asian orchid garden or something? It's something like that. And then on the other side, you have Space Pups.
Yep.
Along with other
next door
genre
around
movies.
the corner. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Action movies and
then people can go there, see what you guys have produced, and decide whether or not they want to put it on their service. Or
it's mostly for like their country. So there's distributors for, China or South America or whatever, that they need to basically buy their content for what they're going to show on their services or TV stations or put out on DVD, like in their countries and stuff like that. So
Whoa.
it gets kind of sold in pockets of like different people buy the rights for different countries.
So then you got to dub in all the languages, right?
They do. We do have to give them a version which has everything, every sound effect, all the music and everything except for the voices, and then they dub it on top.
That's crazy.
But every single sound effect, anytime somebody moves something,
sure,
even if that audio
all the
was
Foley
picked up,
has to be like transcripted.
Yeah, you basically have to redo all of the sound effects for the whole movie.
Now, you said that is not your job, or they have guys that their job is to take what you guys have produced and clean it up for other countries?
We do all the sound effects and music. We are in charge of taking
How hard
care
is
of that.
that?
Well, we have a great group of friends, and
that's awesome, y'all.
Yeah, it's we've kind of built that up over the last few movies to where we have a lot of people we trust to do that.
Yeah, because our first movie we did not expect that, and they basically were like, "Hey, this failed the quality control thing because like this sound effect was missing here," and we were like, "Oh, but that was recorded on the boom mic." When the person was talking, like that sound effect just was part of it.
So do you find that when you guys are producing this type of content, in now knowing that you're going to go to other markets, are you not worrying so much about the boom and the sound effects and just go through later and sweep all the effects, or how do you?
Kind of, yeah. Knowing that
this is fascinating, y'all.
That there's going to be a person, Jason Strawley, who helps us out. He and his group of people like really get into it, and they like have fun like recreating those.
Yeah, because that can take like, for a 2-minute
forever
passage.
Yeah,
there could be. Theoretically, hundreds of sound effects in 2 minutes.
Clothes rustling,
yeah,
all that
like
stuff.
the microphone moving, anything, anything. That's crazy.
Are the pups defending the world against these
story.
aliens?
All right,
what's the plot?
You know, this guy's right. I'm sitting
why
there
is the
asking
military
about,
here?
We're sitting there asking him about the
Space
business,
Force of pups.
and we haven't even talked about the puppies, who's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, give us the. I don't want to. No spoilers, obviously,
So
because.
basically, there's aliens that crash land on Earth.
Okay, the ones on the top of the ship, I see them.
And then they basically ask their computer, like, how do Earthlings treat alien visitors? And the computer shows them all, like, the 1950s, where, like, the army is, like, blowing up.
What you said.
Call them the N-word.
1950s here. This guy's, he's like, blow them away. Kill them. We got General Patton over here.
So they decide they need to disguise themselves while they repair their ship, and they say, what are humans like? And it says, oh, man's best friend are dogs. So they decide to disguise themselves as dogs while they go and repair their ship.
These aliens, these rascals, they're geniuses.
They didn't think about the fact that dogs don't talk, and the first kid they meet is like, dogs don't talk. Like, oh, oops.
And then off to the races. Hijinks begin.
Yep.
I love it. That's great.
Does anybody ask them like how you managed to fly from another universe or another galaxy, which the technology it takes is so far beyond our comprehension that we don't even understand. But you crashed in our atmosphere. How'd you do that? Drinking. You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Don't you have such advanced technology?
And it's their mom's spaceship.
Ran out of gas.
Can happen to anybody, man.
So, you mentioned
Where'd you guys
Scorsese.
film this, too, by the way?
Oh, right around here. Right
so is this an Orlando-based film?
Yep.
Do we see any landmarks or anything that Space Pups was filmed at?
Yeah, actually, you might see an ice cream shop in College Park. You might see, if you're familiar with the backlot at Full Sail, we shot some stuff on the backlot at Full Sail.
Amazing barn that we found out, where was that, Ocoee?
Tom used to do bikini contest down there.
Or Vito, yeah.
Vito, sorry.
We shot at the Sausage Castle.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
You scared me for a second.
Dogs love sausage.
The aliens were like, we're horny.
You mentioned Scorsese, and I saw an interview
He's so grumpy.
with Quentin Tarantino about like Scorsese and like when he was making Taxi Driver or something, and he sat with a loaded gun that he was gonna kill the producer, like, and then people were trying to talk him out of it, and he sat all night like holding this gun, and then Quentin Tarantino's telling the story. I'm like, is he crazy? Is that what makes him
like drugs
brilliant?
and alcohol, right? It doesn't sound like this. Doesn't sound like a brilliant man.
But I guess that's what makes, especially with art, like most like.
Oh, you're willing to sit with a gun all night. Great job. You're a real artist.
Well, but I think like maybe there's a little bit of crazy mixed in, and that's what makes his movie so good. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's thinking differently.
Well,
than
let's
us.
ask our filmmaker buddies. What say you guys?
It's part of the territory. I mean, these kids tried to murder me almost on a daily basis. So
Yeah. They sat up all night holding a gun.
Yeah.
Who was harder to work with, the dogs, the kids, or the adults?
it's a the common phrase is always work with kids and animals. I think. Is that
No, I have that a little bit backwards.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
little
I think
skewed.
yeah. So you guys, but also, are there tons of people doing what you guys do?
I don't think so.
Is there a lot
I
of
mean,
competition out there for the family animal?
I mean, there is
core movies.
There is a bit of competition in the talking dog kind of genre there, but in general, when you say a lot, I mean making movies is very hard, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get the money and
Sure.
and just to be able to do it. So I don't know if I would say that there's a lot, but there definitely it's kind of like, horror movies and kind of kids movies are in that kind of lower budget straight to video that it still works. They can go to Redbox or these different
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. So
Yeah, my daughter
think
loves a
there is.
lot of the this styled entertainment. She has a tendency to like more live action than cartoons sometimes. And this is right up her alley. She likes a lot of the lower budget kid live action stuff.
Yeah.
Like even the Disney stuff like Bunked and stuff like that. That's I'm sure that's top tier kid stuff, but it's still the production value. Yeah, it's all right. It's not going to win any awards.
Have you guys ever thought about starting off now, with a kid's
You giving him a
movie?
free idea?
No.
You giving him a free idea?
I just thought, have you ever seen Hobo with a Shotgun? It's like a over the top,
Ultra violent, right?
ultra violent, almost campy at certain times, but it's very gruesome and adult, and there's very adult. But it would be funny if some movie started off as so clean kids movie, and then slowly through the movie transition. Now I don't know who that would be for, and I can imagine you get sued by.
There's been a version of Invincible was sort of like that to me. I started that cartoon, and it starts off like a decent. You're watching a Superman story, and all of a sudden it takes a ultra-violent, horrible turn, and you're like, I will never be the same again. I am seriously, in that show, the reason I like that show is it starts off like your traditional comic book movie, and then it just gets crazy, and then I'm like, well, I have changed. I am now changed.
I think you have to make that movie, which sounds interesting. You have to be, Matt and Trey from South Park or something, because they're so well known. They have money to burn.
Yeah, you almost need a reputation to be able to do that. Don't you?
Yeah, because otherwise they're going to be like you said. Who is this for?
Yeah, right.
How many of these?
And you could get blacklisted from a lot of distribution because something could make a mistake, and then someone listed as a kids movie, and then next thing you know, Netflix is getting a.
I don't think legally you're allowed to list it as a kids movie.
No, but
there's actual ratings that you legally have to put on.
I know, but internally in these streaming services, someone just
There's always
types a
mistakes
wrong,
that are made.
and then it just gets put up as, and then next thing you know, you got some moms marching and protesting against you. Lots of problems.
Yeah, how many of these have you guys done all together? The family movies together.
This is our fourth family movie.
And and so this one's on Tubi. Everybody can go there right now to watch it. Just type in Space Pups and search it.
Tubi, Amazon, Vudu.
Which helps you guys more? Or does it matter?
Amazon or Vudu are the ones where you pay to rent it.
Then I'll buy it.
But Tubi, you can watch it for free with ads.
Okay, cool.
And Fossum too, which is another one of those apps.
Oh, Fossum. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Do you guys have plans on Space Pups 2, Space Cats?
We're in pre-pro.
Lizard, Luca the Lizard. Huh? Are you inspired? Are you inspired? Luca the Florida podcast.
Trained.
What about a movie about a podcast lizard that lives in a pod studio, right?
Yeah.
And
Slow
then-
down. I'm writing this down.
And then late at night, after the guys leave, and they're like madcap, they're like old kind of Howard Stern-y, afterwards he does a show at night out of here, and the show he does at night becomes more popular than the show during the day.
But no one knows.
But no one
who it
knows.
is,
Nobody
and then
knows who he is.
He learns how to upload it. He's been watching
He's
Daniel.
been watching me for
Okay,
6
I like
weeks.
this. Yeah. And then he learns how to upload it. Then he gets more and more
and
popular.
he gets more and more popular. Nobody knows who
But
he
he just does reaction videos.
But nobody knows nobody knows he's a lizard, Sam, because he just has such a golden voice.
But he learned how to talk through me. So his lizard voice is somewhere, it's like a cross between me and Daniel's.
Yeah.
He just absorbed us talking for so long.
And he's become like our child.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ratatouille or something something, isn't it?
It is
Or-
kind of
yeah.
like Ratatouille, yeah.
During the day, he's doing insurance commercials.
Yeah.
But then, hold on. But then we have some scientist that comes over from Orlando Science Center.
Yeah, and he's like, I can make him human.
No. He drops some sort of radiation ooze that he brought here as an experiment. He's like, where'd I put the ooze?
Where'd I put my pocket ooze?
And then Luca gets into it at night and then grows to
a disgusting killing machine.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Lizard.
No.
He's a disgusting killing
And
machine. He
then-
kind of looks like who's the guy with the spam face that played Whiplash? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
So
Mickey Rourke.
He looks like Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And the Toxic Avenger, who look like the same person. So it's the Toxic. He looks like the Toxic Avenger.
but
and
he's like a lizard man.
And he goes on a killing spree.
Yeah. And then he gets out every night, and then he just,
It just murders indiscriminately. It's literally the most innocent people dying.
Women, children, everybody.
Anybody, everyone
Real
dies.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't know how Dove is going to feel about it.
Well,
Is he wearing his seatbelt when he murders?
we're working it out. We're just in a brainstorm.
Yeah, this is just a think tank today.
Guys, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks
in.
for
We appreciate
coming
it.
in, y'all. And if you do more, please come in again. Do you have anything else you're planning, or?
Yeah, well, Eli Lipnick is our executive producer who actually was very hands-on, came to set a lot.
Nice.
He's got Swin Studios, so we're in the process right now. We're in pre-pro of 2 films this year for Swin Studios.
Man, that's so awesome. Well,
Thank you.
maybe we get to come and see you on set one day. We could do a go-to from the on set, just watching it. Not like us being in it. I just want to see what you guys do.
You could react, just be in the corner and react.
Yeah, we're good reactors.
That's what the kids like anyway.
Oh, they love it so much, and it makes Tom crazy.
At the end of the movie, I'm on the North Shore with Luca, and there's a storm, and he's like, I just want to surf one more time. And I'm like, I'm not letting you go. And then I let him go, and then he dies out there.
Yeah, he does.
That's good.
Bye-bye, Bodie.
All right, we will be back.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it, y'all. That was fun. Congrats on the film.
Thank you.
I can't wait to watch it.
Now I got to figure out how to make lizards talk.
If you hold a mealworm in front of him,
he'll open his mouth, and we can just film it and run it forward and backwards.
the hardest part is I need the dogs with their mouths shut. But as soon as it gets hot, they start painting. Literally what you were saying, like, do they go to their trailer? Yes, they literally go in air
Chill out.
condition,
Gotta
and
get 'em
relax.
cold.
You gotta shoot something else until the dog cools down.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I love it.
This is yours if you
What?
want. Yeah.
All right, dude, can you guys sign it? Yeah. Sign it. And where's a Sharpie? Do we have a Sharpie? Let me get you one. Hell yeah, we'll hang that up. That's badass.
I didn't want to mention
Thank
it
you so
on
much.
air, but we're excited because we're.
Oh, dude, we're still on YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't get in trouble.
We're just talking to some names on this. We had name actors in Robodog and Robodog Airborne, which was pretty cool. We had Wallace Shawn and Robodog.
Oh, okay.
From Incan
Yeah.
And then Stephen Tobolowsky and.
Why do I know
Misha
Stephen
Barnes. He's
Tobolowsky?
the Ned Ryerson from the.
Bing from Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Day. And.
Oh yeah, sign that up for us, y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll throw that. We'll hang that up and give it a good home. I love it. Are we going on lunch break?
Yeah.
All right.